Boom. All right, you guys see that timing? Right, like literally right on the second. Like I was ready at 7:29 and like 56 seconds, and I waited 4 seconds so I could click it at just the right second. Except now I'm actually realizing that it probably took a few seconds for it to get out to you guys. So you guys probably actually ended up getting it at like, I don't know, 20 seconds past when it was supposed to start. Yeah, so maybe it's, yeah, okay, all right. So maybe I wasn't actually able to successfully hit it exactly on the dot. Anyway, we're gonna try to speed run all of the housekeeping stuff in 5 minutes. But let me just finish taking the first minute to send a message in Discord. I know. I said last week I wasn't gonna that I was gonna try to be a little more, on top of this, so I wouldn't be one of those guys that comes on not prepared. But it's a process. It's a process. Oh, lightsaber, shiny, glowy. Yeah. It is very much the lightsaber. I have I just threw together. The reason I'm rushed today is because I just had to throw together a program for that, so that I could put on a custom program that would just basically do that throughout the whole stream. Just change between different colors and look shiny in the background. So yeah, no more delays. You guys can see it. It's beautiful. It's gonna be there all night. I have it plugged in, so no battery death. Not quite as bright as it would be if I had it off battery, but it's actually pretty bright. So yeah, it's looking good. It's looking good. It'll only get better as the night goes on too. Because, it'll just get darker and darker, and the lightsaber will look shinier and shinier. I might have to turn on the light at some point, but anyway. 3 month for a glow. Guys, this is a little more than a glow stick. I didn't want sound on this program that's just for it being in the background of the stream, because I need to be talking, and I don't want it to be upstaging me, because it's loud, so... Yeah, I didn't want that. Also, I might have mentioned, but I only had like 30 minutes to throw together that program, so I didn't have time for a whole lot of fancy stuff. It was just very short. Look, I'll show you. Yeah, guys, it's very short. It's literally just, literally nothing fancy. Turn on the blade, turn on the cross guards, turn everything off, and then it just does that, cycling through 8 different colors. So that's it, guys. That's it for the program there. Anyway, I'm supposed to be sending a message on Discord and then doing housekeeping announcements. So, yeah, let me just do that. Discord. I don't know if anybody even cares about the Discord messages, but you never know. Maybe some people will join us from Discord. Anyway, I want to get started a little faster than last week today, because last week it took forever. So, yeah, Discord message sent. Housekeeping. Number 1, my goal is to finish I'm not a housekeeper. No, I'm a wannabe streamer, unfortunately. I don't think we have any. I think the Discord community is pretty good. I have to do all the moderation myself, but thankfully there hasn't been much, so don't screw that up. But anyway, I probably shouldn't have said that. But for as far as tasks for tonight go, yeah, we're going to try to finish the chess game between tonight and the next stream. So we got, 3 hours tonight, 3 hours next stream, 6 hours to finish this thing. I think a little bit of time pressure is going to help us out. Yeah, so streams. Oh, I've been moving this stream back earlier and earlier. This is probably the final time, so we should be locked in on this time for a good bit. And, yeah, locked in on the time. All right, let's open up Godot and get to work. So we only have 6 hours left to finish this game. Let's see where we're at. Yeah, I think we were adding movement for more pieces, because if I remember correctly, I should change the project settings so I don't have to scale this up literally every time. Yeah, we now have highlighting, but the highlights never go away, so that's kind of an issue. And we have. Okay, we only have, what, we only have rook highlighting? Yeah, we only have rook highlighting. That's all that we have. Can you move, please? Yeah, so we have rook highlighting. You put me in your latest move. Oh, wow, that's pretty incredible. I would love to see that. Okay, yeah, so we've got pawn highlighting, the pawns know where they're supposed to move, and the rooks know where they're supposed to move, but we still need to add bishops. And once we add bishops, that's basically queens done, because we've got rook movement for them, and then just bishop movement as well. Did we add bishops last time? I can't remember. No, we didn't add bishops. So bishops, and then we've got the queen, because it'll be rook plus bishop, and we'll be cooking there. King and knight. So yeah, that's pretty intense. Yeah, that's actually a good point. I should have asked what the movie is, because I don't want to be, I mean, there's some movies I don't want to be in. Like, I don't know if you guys seen the Marvel movies, but the trajectory they're on, I don't want to be in any of those. That's, I mean, they're, woo-wee. I think a good long-term goal would be to be in a Star Wars movie, though, because that'd be kind of epic. Better long-term goal would be to make a Star Wars game, a legal Star Wars game, because obviously I could make a Star Wars game, but then I wouldn't be allowed to publish it because, you know, laws, copyright, blah, 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 blah. A very important role. That's good. That's what we like to hear. Okay. So, we have, yeah, I think we were adding bishop movement, if I remember correctly. And all of the stuff we're doing currently is just in the old possible positions function. Yeah. Yeah, we just created an if statement for the bishop thingy, and yeah, let's run with it. So, okay. That's the annoying thing about waiting a week. You forget a lot in a week. We'll have to do something about that in the future, but yeah, so here, for the rook, we just went in each direction until we hit either an enemy piece or a friendly piece or the edge of the board, and then we stopped and did the correct thing. So what we need to do now is we just need to go in diagonals instead of going in straight lines. That's all. So, let's copy, we want to have the int moving number and the moving letter as number. I think we want both of those because we're going to be doing a very similar thing to what we did with the rooks, but we're going to need to be using both at once, either increasing both, decreasing both, increasing one and decreasing the other, or vice versa. Oh yeah, Sabre C++ is master Unreal developer. Yep, that's what we like to see. We'll hopefully get back to Unreal at some point. I might make a concession, guys. I have been sneakily on the side doing a little bit of Godot 2D development, which, don't worry, I'm sure we'll do that on stream soon. But I have been doing a little bit of that on the side, and Godot might be better for 2D. I might concede that to you guys. Might have to give Godot the 2D crown and Unreal keep the 3D crown, because that's just how it is. I'm sorry, but yeah. So we might be able to compromise on that if you guys are willing. But anyway, I think we need to say while moving number is less than 7. Okay, and hang on, we need to check two things. And moving letter as number is also less than 7, I believe. That one just goes up to 7, right? No. Moving number is going to go up to 8 because it starts at 1 and it goes up to 8. Moving letter as number goes only up to 7. Oh. I'm dumb. That's my bad. Okay. That's not even the right screen. What is OBS doing right now? Okay, all right, we're struggling. Hang on, it hates me sometimes. Yeah, we just have to do a thing. For some reason, it would rather you guys look at a little extra video of me in OBS rather than my screen. Hang on. Watch the movie on stream. I might. Definitely not this early yet, though. We have to start with work, and then we can do play later. All right, guys. I'm working on fixing the screen thing now. Thank you for pointing that out. That was dumb. Yeah, it just really wants to show you guys the wrong screen. Like, you don't need to see that. Like, that's not helpful. I want to show you Godot. What to do? This is not a great look. A liquid squashing. Why do you always describe it so vividly when you go to get a succulent apple or a sloshing water bottle? No, I wasn't saying I was going to switch to 2D. I was saying Godot, I might concede that Godot is better at 2D than Unreal Engine. I was saying I might concede that. I still think Unreal is better at 3D, but I might have to concede that Godot is better at 2D, just because I've been messing around a little on the side, and Godot has a pretty strong 2D setup, I think. I like the setup, the structure of Godot. You guys can't see what I'm gesturing at, because the screen still isn't fixed, but... yeah. I don't think so, guys. I just yeah. Let me see if anything good happens now if I go into OBS. Where's OBS? Alright, we might be there, guys. We might be there. You guys are seeing the right thing now, I think. No? Still? Okay, I don't know why we're struggling so much with this. Let me just let me try one more time. I don't want to have to like mess with this stream too much, but hopefully. Okay, chat's gone now. That's probably not good. I can't see what you guys are saying, but we might be there. Okay, let's see. I genuinely have no idea what OBS is doing. It is very, very unhappifying. Boom. Okay, we got it. There we go. Yep. Easy stuff, obviously. I mean, that was nice and quick and easy. Pretty... Okay, so it wasn't quick, but it was easy. I just wasn't paying attention. But anyway, it was definitely not my fault. Obviously, that's OBS's fault for, whatever. All right, well, we're here now. We can get to work. Definitely not the worst struggle that we have to look forward to, I'm sure. Okay. We have Godot, we are cooking. All I've done is we already had this if piece name is equal to bishop or piece name is, we already had this if statement to where we were planning on adding in some bishop movement, and now we're just going to start doing that. So let's make sure we get chat back. Yeah, I am going to have to rumble angrily if we start talking about the Godot pawn again. All right. Anyway, so we have the, for the bishop, it's going to be kind of like the rook, except instead of just moving horizontally, we're going to need to move diagonally, which means we're going to be increasing both, for example, to go in one direction, or decreasing both, or increasing one, decreasing the other, or decreasing one, increasing the other. So we're going to have to deal with both variables in all of our while loops. So whereas last time we just had to deal with one variable in each of these, we're going to be dealing with both in each of these. Just doing different things. So I need like a chat history pull up so I can see who's serious about the Unreal Godot pawn thing and who's not, because it's very it's impossible. Guys, I'm going to explain this one final time. Okay? In Unreal Engine, we have a class system, right? Where we have the base class, right? And then we have actors, which are permitted to, which are any object that gets spawned in the world. And then we have pawns, which are a subclass of actor, which are any object that gets spawned in the world and gets controlled by the player. So this could be a subclass of this, could then become a player character or a tank or a airplane or whatever you want it to be. Anything that the player is going to move around and control, that kind of stuff. So the pawn, they actually took the word pawn, like the word pawn in chess, and they just named that class after it. In Godot, they don't have that concept. The only reason there's any pawns in Godot is because for some reason I decided to make a chess game, and it's an absolute disaster because now there's a name conflict and everyone's unhappy. And no, you don't have to pay actors. It's just a class. It's just a class name. They can name it whatever they want. Guys, I have a lightsaber now. Like, if I have to start chopping things up, I will. I'll do it. There's a reason we have a lightsaber now. How do I deal with the name? What do you want me to do? You want me to rename pawns in chess to something else? You want me to rewrite the whole code for Unreal? There's no solution. The only solution is to end everyone who knows about it. And that means all of you. Chop something. Anyway, moving on from chopping stuff up. Yeah, definitely possible, obviously. Obviously, the lightsaber can chop. We just don't want to get that violent on stream. That's all, because, police, that kind of stuff. Anyway, while the moving number is less than or equal to 8, and we're basically just going to go diagonally upward in both directions. So if we were starting at A1, we'd go diagonally upward to H8. So we're just going to increase both of these. So let's see, what do we do here? Yep, we just did, we incremented first. So we're going to say moving number plus plus and moving letter as number plus plus. And then, because remember, we don't want to consider our starting square. So that's why we increment before checking, because we don't want to consider the starting square. We only want to consider the square next after that. Okay. All right. Anyway, so after we increment, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and turn. We can just copy these in because we don't like doing actual work. We just prefer copying and pasting in. At least this time we're pasting in our own work instead of someone else's, so that's nice. We're going to turn this moving letter as number into an actual letter, and then we're going to turn that into a notation position. So again, if we started at A1, basically in this first loop, we're going to increase the moving number and the moving letter as number, and then we're going to be now looking at the square B2. So this current notation position is going to hold B2 if we started at A1. And then in the next loop, it'll hold C3 and so on, up and up and up. So starting at where we are, we increase diagonally and we get a name for the current position. And then I think we can we use the same can continue searching method? Because if so, we definitely did some good work last week. Yes, we can. Because this, this just takes a look at the spot and says if it's, if it is empty, then we can definitely go there. If it has a piece there, then we have to stop. But if it's an enemy piece, then we can go there and we have to stop, so we can't go any further. Or if it's a friendly piece, we can't go there because we can't take our own piece, and we also can't go any further. So yeah, we can definitely use this same position, which is very nice. So we'll just copy these 3 lines as well. As you can see, we're doing a lot of work here. Copy, paste, copy, paste. You know what? So maybe the solution is not to explain anything at all ever. That could be the solution. Okay, so guys, I think we basically just did exactly what we were doing last week. And we we're kind of chilling. Basically, we just copy the entire contents of one of these for loops from the rook movement, which is side to side, except that we changed it just a little bit so that it goes diagonally now, and yeah, I think we can do the same exact thing and now just go in the other 3 directions, because obviously the bishop can go in any of the 4 diagonals. So let's now say, well, the number is less than or equal to 8, but the moving letter as number is what, greater than 0? Yeah, of course. I'm coding teacher, master, all that good stuff. Moving number is going to increase because we're going up to 8, and moving letter as number is going to decrease because we're going down to 0. Okay, perfect. I think that's all we need to do there. So we should probably functionize the contents of this loop because, as you can see, we're not really changing it. While moving number is, now let's do the first one going down to 0. So both of them going down to 0. Let's see. So while moving number is greater than 1, it's gonna, now they're both gonna decrease. And then the last thing we need to do is, I did not say I would fix the string system because I like the string system, because there's nothing wrong with the string system. It's great. I like it. It's good. And I think the string system is fine. We were gonna do some classes, blah blah blah, but we're not gonna do that. It's too much work. Okay, moving number is still minus, and moving letter as number is going to increase towards 7. So basically, we did all the work last week, and now we're just copy pasting it over from a rook to a bishop. Pretty easy stuff. That might honestly be it. It's not an insult to Uncle Bob. I'm sure it's not that big of a deal. It's a small deal. It's a small deal. It's not that big of a deal. Okay, let's move the queen out. And then, okay, it's not quite working yet. Because we can see no diagonals are getting highlighted yet. And we accidentally killed our own bishop. That's fine. Let's put a bishop here. Well, that doesn't help very much. Let's put a bishop right here. And you can see it's not really highlighting much for us. So, guys, the lightsaber's right there. I feel like we're getting lightsaber. See, see, I even pointed the right way. That's pretty nice. Like, I don't struggle with pointing in real life, but on camera, it's very difficult to remember which way things are. Anyway, yeah, lightsaber's there. They're in the background. Nothing wrong with that. What do you want me to do? Carry that? It's plugged in, guys, so that I don't have to, so it doesn't die in the middle of the stream. It's plugged in. I just hid the wire stealthily along there, so you guys can't see it, very secretly and stealthily. So yeah, as I mentioned, it's not quite as shiny bright as it would be if it were, if it had a battery in it. It's a little bit brighter with the battery. I have tested this like real life, so I'm not scamming you. It's a little bit brighter with the battery than when it's plugged into any power source. Actually, I haven't tested it wall versus battery. I tested it computer port versus battery, so it's possible this is actually as bright. That's a fair point. But I did discover the battery was definitely more than the computer port, so I assume plugging into a 5-volt adapter from the outlet is also dimmer than the battery. Could be wrong though. I did not use any transistors at all. So anyway, why is the bishop not working? That is the question. Because we should be doing exactly the same thing as we do with the rook and adding the valid positions to the valid positions array, in fact. But we are not getting any additional positions added to our list, because obviously if I click on the bishop, put it here, then we click on it again to see valid moves, and nothing shows up. So, what is this 6 here? Is that the valid positions, the number of valid positions, or the can continue Boolean? So basically, since we can't return multiple values from the thing, what we do is we, okay, so basically, all right, I'll run it down since we did do this last week. Basically, I get a little more room here. I feel like my code editor is kind of small. What we do, we only break if we are not allowed to continue. So basically, here's the thing is that we have to add if the valid position. So we run can continue searching, and what can continue searching does is it takes in the current position, right? The one we're looking at, not the one the piece is on. Or actually, hang on. hang on. I mean, I'm confused about what we're passing into it. Are we passing in? We're passing in the square that we're looking at. Okay, and then we're passing in the side that we are on, right? So the piece that we are, let's say we're a bishop, our side, let's say we're a white bishop, so this would be W. Okay, the position that we're looking at, so let's say we're looking at a black pawn on B7, okay? And then I don't think it's that redundant, because we're passing in our side, the opponent pieces or empty squares position, the position that we're looking at, which could have any piece on it, our friendly piece, an enemy piece, it could be an empty square. And we're finding out if we are allowed to move there and if we are allowed to move past there, okay? So valid position, this valid position outstring, if we are allowed to move to that exact square, then valid position will contain that exact square. If we're not allowed to move to that exact square, valid position will be empty, because we just ignore all empty valid positions because obviously we can't do anything with them. But then we also return whether we're allowed to go past that square. Something more useful. Okay, well, the thing is, the bool that it returns is whether we're allowed to continue searching past that square. So can continue searching, I think, makes sense of that. It checks if, like as it says in this comment here, it checks if we can continue searching along this track. And if it's valid, it adds the current position to the valid positions array. It doesn't add hang on. If valid, it sets valid position to the current position. Do I prefer spaghetti or steak all the way? Steak's goated. Also, I don't like ground beef. Don't like it ground up. I want it to be nice and together. I don't want it to be put through a grinder. That's disgusting. Disgusting. Actually, I like sausage though, so I won't say it's all disgusting. But ground beef is disgusting. It's repulsive. I don't know how people eat it. Yeah, no, definitely steak. Steak's delicious. Actually just had steak for dinner. It was delicious and delectable. So we have here, yeah, I think can continue searching is a fair name for it, because it does check if we're allowed to continue searching along this track. Maybe not along this track. Check if we can continue searching after this square. Of course, we can't if there is a piece on this square. So it checks if we're allowed to continue searching after this square, which we obviously can't if there's a piece on the square, because if it's a friendly piece, we're not allowed to hit the square, and we're certainly not allowed to go over. And if it's a enemy piece, we are allowed to hit that square, but we're not allowed to go over. So if it was an enemy piece, then valid position would become that exact square that the enemy piece is on, because we're allowed to move to that square to take that piece. But if it was a friendly piece, then valid position would be null, because we're not allowed to take a friendly piece. No, I'm not removing red. Red is the best color there is. It's that's orange, but yeah, red. No, red is the best. Red is very satisfying. I made it the first color in the array, so we can make absolutely sure that we would get red as many times as possible. So yeah, I'm very, very happy about that. Yeah, that doesn't, guys, that doesn't make me a Sith. It's just because I like red. No, guys, the code for the... Getting off topic again, dang it. I just showed you guys the code for the lightsaber that I threw together today. It is immaculate. Take a look at this. We got some constants up at the top. All this good stuff. Yep, as you can see, we split everything out into nice little functions. It's very clear what's going on. Turn on saber. Wait for however long we're supposed to wait while it's on. Turn off saber. Wait for however long we're supposed to wait while it's off. Increment the color index. Beautiful. And then up here you can see we got all the colors. Pretty nice. The color index is the index in the array of colors. So as you can see, we have all these colors, 8 different colors from red to white. And the color index is just where we are in that array. Guys, putting too many comments in the code is known to is just a mess. All right, you're just gonna confuse people that way. You don't want too many comments. Too many comments is a path to disaster. That's one of the things I don't like about high school and college, some high school and college programming classes I've had. They tell you, oh, you should comment every line. You should say explicitly what every single line is doing. No, you shouldn't. This line is clear enough what it does on its own, and that's your job as a programmer. Your job as a programmer is to make the code so clear that you don't even need a comment. Now, if you can't do that, then you add a comment. But if you can, that's your job. All right, that's my only, yeah. All right, little mini rant there, but that's all. We even have a little to do in there because I didn't have time, so I just skimmed it a little bit. Anyway, rolling right along. Whew. Back to Godot. The red comments are great, guys. You can't hate on the red comments. Red is the best color. I wonder what the most popular color is, though. I mean, red's still the best, even if it's not the most popular. But just for the fun of it, we're gonna see what the most popular color is. Okay, you guys. Here's what we're gonna do. I don't know. Can you even check the? Can you change the color in the Arduino ID? I don't know. I don't think they have custom color schemes. I think they just have the built-in color schemes. You have to just pick one. Hang on, I just want to rotate the mic. Sorry, I know that's probably bad. Let me check. Yeah, see, all we've got is just picking between these 4 different themes. That's all we can do. We don't have custom color theme support. I'm not gonna. Yeah, no, I'm not digging into that to add a feature there. That's yeah. Okay, so you like dark high contrast? I don't actually know if I've tried dark high contrast. Let me check. Hello. Dark high contrast. I feel like I'm being put in prison here. Actually, it's well, okay. This I cannot stand. Why this? Why is this little border thing? No, that does not look good. I don't like that. I don't know. I don't mind the color scheme. The color. Oh, no, I don't like this. The color scheme's okay, except that the selection color is terrible. Like the what? Whoa, way too bright. Like if I had my display at full brightness here, that would probably kill me. Like, and it removes all of the syntax highlighting. Actually, it might do that anyway, but I don't know. But that's way too much. Also, this little border thing that goes around when you hover over something, that's not nice. I don't like that. And yeah, I don't mind the colors themselves, but this highlighting is terrible. I can't stand that. No, that's terrible. Looks like you're hacking. It kind of does. I can see that. Not as much as like if you open up a terminal and you just choose like one of the some of the profiles look pretty hacker. Let's see, what is it? Maybe grass. No, that looks terrible. That looks terrible. I don't know. There's one that looks pretty like straight out of the movies. Like, oh no, that doesn't look very good. Keep it. No, I can't stand that. That's too disappointing. That isn't even my default. Isn't even this. Oh, this is the Mac OS default terminal. Looks terrible. That's so depressing. Pixel.show just shows any changes you made to the array. So here what we're doing is we're looping over and turning on pixels one by one, starting at the base of the main blade and going up to the tip, because we turn on all of the, if you watch the saber for a second here, we turn on, when we're turning it on, we turn on the main blade first all the way up, and then we turn on the side blades, because that's how it happens in the movies. When we're turning it off, we just do them both at once. But when we're turning it on, we do main blade, then side blades. So we go through the main blade, and then we go through the side blades. But pixels.show just shows any changes to the array. So we turn on one extra LED, then we show it, and then we wait, and then we turn on the next LED in the row, and then we show it, and then we wait, and so on and so on. I think that if you understood the basics of the Adafruit NeoPixel library, this stuff would be perfectly straightforward. This code here is straightforward enough that you could understand that if you knew the basics of the Adafruit NeoPixel library. So I'm not going to explain the NeoPixel library to you because that's their job. So what you would do is you would learn how I could mention, it says it pretty clearly here, but I could mention that the Adafruit NeoPixel library is where the documentation is or something, and then you would read that, you would see how it works, and then you would know how the whole program works, because it's pretty straightforward if you know how the library works. That's not... I think it's reasonable to say to assume in your program that it is their job to learn all of the libraries involved. If it's involved in a major way. If it's involved in a very minor way, then maybe you could explain it so they don't have to go through that whole library. But if the whole sketch is one library, then, and you're just mostly doing that library, then I think it's reasonable to say that, they should look in the library documentation, learn how the library works, and then they'll understand your code perfectly well. Uncle Bob talks about this in his Uncle Bob gaming videos. I've yet to see one of those. Don't link me anything. I have had enough of these videos that you guys have sent me that have had nothing to do with Uncle Bob for one lifetime. Anyway, let me fix my color scheme because this looks terrible. The only thing that would probably be worse is light high contrast, and that would be terrible. Actually, light is probably still worse than dark high contrast because it's just way too bright. Way too bright. Anyway, that's enough Arduino IDE. We need to lock in on our Godot project and get this done, because we only have this week and next week to get it done. So, yeah. Alright, our bishop code isn't working at all. What is the other class? The other class is, I'll show it to you in a second. It's very simple. Let's pull our queen out and click on her. We're still only getting the horizontal. And let me just, I accidentally just killed the bishop. Okay, put the queen there. Yeah, we're still only getting the horizontal. Nothing diagonal, except hang on, did it highlight that square? It didn't highlight that, did it? Let me check. Just want to check in case it's doing something unexpected. Is the Arduino language object-oriented? Yes, it's basically C++ or C. It's kind of a cross between C++ and C. It's kind of like Unreal Engine, where it's like C++, but just has some additional features built in. It's kind of like that, except there's a few more additional features. But yeah, it's pretty much just like C++. All of the syntax, if something works in C++, it'll work in there. They just based it off of that. Is it like Java? No, not really. I mean, some of the syntax between C++ and Java is the same, but Java is still a higher level language because you can't get pointers and stuff. You can't manually control pointers and stuff. In C++, the whole point of C++ really is that versus using like C#, which is objectively nicer to, which is like nicer to look at and more fun to play with. It's easier to play with. C++ versus C#. C# is better for beginners. C++, you can manually control your pointers and stuff rather than the language doing it for you. Java is basically just like a not as good C#. C# is a better Java. It's a higher level language that looks a lot like one of these, lower level languages like C++, but it doesn't allow you to manually control your own pointers and stuff. So yeah. You don't think C# is good for beginners? I mean, it's not as good as like Python or something where they don't have to worry about semicolons at all. But if it's better than C++ for sure. I don't know. What do you think is the best language for beginners? I think probably Python. But if you had to do like a lower level language, lower than Python or Lua or something like that, then I think it'd probably be C#. I don't know. A lot of people teach Java first. I think C# is better. There's maybe more stuff done with Java that people can get into. So that could be why they choose Java over C#. Just more projects going around that they can work with. It's always helpful to be able to tell your students, like, hey, we're studying this because so-and-so made this in C#. Like, if you're teaching them I can't think of an example. But you know how it is when a math teacher tries to tell you, oh, we're going to learn this, and you're like, why? And they're like, I don't know. Like, you want to hear the motivation for why you're learning something before you learn it. It makes it much easier. Have I read Chad Johnson's Medium article? Not that I know of. I don't know. I've read some Medium articles in the past. Could have been one by Chad Johnson. Unless he only wrote one, in which case that's pretty unlikely. Okay, should I read this? Rust is, I've heard Rust is going kind of crazy. I haven't tried it though. Should we look at Rust? Let's look at this. All right, Rust article, Chad Johnson. Why Rust is making you fail. Guys, that doesn't sound like advertising for Rust. Okay, let's bring it in. Hey guys, today we're going to be live reacting to this Medium article by Chad Johnson. Alright guys, let's take a look. Yeah, I'm sharing. I got it, guys. Alright, I'm going to leave you guys to digest these first few paragraphs while I get a drink. Because I'm very, very thirsty. And if I stream for 3 hours without drinking, then I'm absolutely, my voice is dead the next morning. So, 1 minute. Take a look at the first few paragraphs. There will be a quiz when I get back. Package secured. Okay, guys, what do you think? First few paragraphs. What is the first word? All right, it's still on screen. Quiz is not gonna work very well. Programming languages are tools, not religions, but you wouldn't know that from talking to some Rust propagandist. Dang. Okay, I don't think I've seen anyone go that far, but that's pretty intense. Sure, Rust has its merits. Memory safety without garbage collect. What? What does that mean? Without garbage collection? It has to have garbage collection. Everything has garbage collection. They mean you don't have to do it yourself, or? Anyway, I don't know enough about Rust probably to be a good input on this, but we'll try our best. We have a lot of general programming knowledge that will help us. Getting market-ready products out the door. That's where garbage-collected languages like C#, JavaScript, and Python shine. Meh on JavaScript, yeah, C#, and Python. It can go either way. You have to be careful. Okay. Rust is overly cautious. Python's pretty cautious too, though. Can't complain about that. Enforce strict rules. Okay. Makes you wrestle just to get your code to compile. I mean, to be fair, the one thing that young programmers don't understand is that it's better to have a compile error than it is to have an error that happens somewhere down the line that doesn't get caught. Because if you have an error, if your compiler lets you go with an error in your finished product and then it just screws over your finished product, that's way, way, way worse. It's way harder to find. If the compiler has found an error and is telling you where that is, that makes it so much easier to debug. People don't understand that. Young programmers don't understand that. Obviously, if you've worked at all on programming, then you understand that. If you've worked like an actual job or whatever. Okay. They claim you'll get a hand of the borrow checker eventually. Upfront time isn't worth it. Okay, that's kind of opinion. Let's hear some more fact. You're expected to write perfect code right from the start. I don't know. Interesting. So it takes a lot of time to perfect the code before you can compile. Obviously, that could be hard for prototyping. I can see that. Definitely. It is nice to be able to throw together a crappy prototype and then basically start from scratch again with the same ideas, but none of the same execution to get it actually good. That's a fair thing to try, and if Rust doesn't allow you to do that, that could be a challenge. We can't take it necessarily at face value. This guy's saying that's what it's like. That would be a problem if that's what it's like. That's not necessarily what it's like, but that's his claim. His claim is you can't get a program running without doing a whole bunch of effort to get it running, so there's no fast prototyping. That's his claim, and that would be a problem if that's true. It'll save you debugging time in the long run. Okay, this is just crap. All right, guys, hold on. I'm calling crap on this one because look at okay. If I can I just digest this for you guys for a second. What he's saying here is if you're racing against the clock, so if you're rushing to put out a product, then he wants you to be allowed to put out a crappy product with problems, and he thinks that's better than getting all the problems out first. And that's not... Too many companies do that. Can you imagine if, like... I don't know. Too many companies do that. Like, you can't just say, oh, well, let's rush, let's make an early deadline and then rush and put out crap just so we can get a good market fit and make money fast. Like that's the exact opposite of what you should be doing. I'm not saying no one does it, but that's terrible. And then he basically repeats that down here: speed trumps perfection in the business world. I don't agree with that. I think a lot of people act like that's the case. People, AAA studios with millions of dollars will put out crappy games because they can still make money with a crappy game. I'm not going to do that. I think that really you shouldn't be releasing a game until it's actually a good game that you think is worth it. You shouldn't be scamming people. That's bad. Scamming is bad. I don't scam people. I know you guys thought I scammed you with the lightsaber, but I didn't. I waited until it was in good solid condition before I put it out. Not perfection. All right, important note here, not perfection. The lightsaber isn't perfect. The lightsaber kits aren't well, they aren't made yet. They're on pre-order, but the code isn't perfect. I admit that in the description. But you need to try your best. You can't do it crappy just because you have a quick deadline. That's all. Keep going. Time is money. Blah blah blah. So honestly, this seems like it's a whole argument. This whole thing that you should be able to write fast and crappy code, which is okay for prototypes, but is not okay for finished products. Okay, let's see. Ecosystem is growing, but it's not near C#, JavaScript, or Python. Yeah, that's absolutely fair. I'm sure it's not. I would be extremely surprised if it were. But the thing is, if a new language is genuinely better, it'll get there. That's just how it works. Python is newer than some other languages. It's certainly newer than C. Why is it more popular than C? Because it's genuinely better for a lot of things. It's easier to learn. Beginners can get started with it quicker. That's why Python is here now, and why Python is being put up against languages like C# and JavaScript. Because it was genuinely better. People saw that. They made the ecosystem. It'll get there. If Rust is genuinely just as good, it'll get there. You just have to wait a couple years. That's all. Not too worried about that issue. It is something to consider if you're making a game right now. If you're making a game in the next year, and it's going to be done in 1 year, then yeah, Rust isn't there yet. Don't use Rust. Also, I don't know if any engines support Rust that much yet. But it works. Let's see. You want to have something that works, obviously. Okay, so basically his argument here is it's young, it doesn't have a track record. That's a fair argument as well. So his final conclusion is if you're not building low-level stuff, drivers, embedded systems, or operating systems, hey, embedded systems, that's Arduino, or operating systems, and you don't have a laser-focused goal, do not use Rust. Okay, first of all, I think you should have a pretty focused goal for whatever your project is. You should know what your project is before you pick the programming languages, or language, singular, usually. Well, not usually. Before you pick the programming language or languages for your project, you should have a pretty clear goal in mind as to what that's going to be. That's the only way to pick a language, only way to pick an engine. If you pick an engine just because you like it before you decide what project you're going to do, that's a terrible plan. I'm just going to be straight up with you. I love Unreal Engine, but still, if I'm making a 2D game, then I'm going to look at the other options and see, should I use Unreal because it's my favorite and I have more experience in it, or should I use Godot because it's genuinely better? And I'd probably come off with Godot even though Unreal's my favorite. Because it's enough better, I think, that it would make sense to use it even though I have less expertise in it. Plus, I'm gaining more expertise now, and it's a useful skill to have. So I would choose Godot. But that's the thing. You need to know what your project is before you can pick an engine. In some cases for 2D, like maybe a 2.5D type of thing where it's 3D models moving in a 2D way, then I would do that in Unreal because it has better 3D graphics and stuff. So you need to have your project, you kind of do need to have a focused goal before you pick your language or your game engine. So I think that's kind of a not helpful argument here. Yeah, we might be overanalyzing this. We're going a little hard on this guy here, but anyway, yeah, this article is pretty much useless as far as my personal takeaways go. What I'm seeing from the article is I need to try it for myself. Because he could be right. It could be so young and so not built out of an ecosystem that it doesn't make sense to use it yet. But some people will have to use it in order for it to get there. And obviously, if it's a good enough language, then people will do that and it will get there. So yeah, we'll be good. Another article, guys. Ask me about it another time. We got to get some coding done. Okay, let's see. Bishop stuff is still not working, I believe, because we haven't really done any work. All right, let's comment out through a bunch of these while loops, and then just, I don't know why I did like that. Let's comment out a bunch of these while loops, and then just, okay, there we go. Comment out a bunch of these while loops just for the moment. And then it says that it's dumb that you're implementing multiplayer. I think that's fair. Some games just need to be single player, and that's the truth. I assume you guys are aware of Helldivers. It's kind of like that. I feel like it's in that vein. The devs said they would never implement PvP because the point of the game is it's you against all of these massive alien civilizations. And if you pitted the players against themselves, well, it would take the massiveness away, and you'd be back to just another game where you're fighting against your fellow humans, your fellow real-life humans. So it would make it less of that community experience that people like Helldivers because of. It has a great story, obviously, and the whole thing is a good idea. It's really a genius idea, honestly. But one of the reasons that Helldivers has become so popular is because people are so united when they play it. They're all fighting bugs and they're all fighting automatons and they're all together. And so if you did PvP, then that would all be lost. So some games should genuinely be single player, and you don't need to be adding multiplayer, battle pass, everything onto it. Yeah, I agree with that. Automaton, it's the robot guys that you fight in Helldivers. That's all. I don't even play Helldivers. I hear enough about it because it's a kind of a big deal, the success that they've been able to achieve. So, and it was a small studio. It's owned by Sony, but it was like a small studio, and they bought it because they saw the promise, and then it just blew up. I think that's who it's owned by. But yeah. Anyway, we increase our two variables here, and then we is do a string valid position. We add it to the valid positions array, and if we're not allowed to continue, then we go ahead and break. I feel like this should work. No, I don't think I can make a giant killing robot. Because of legal reasons, also because of difficulty reasons, I don't have any idea how to construct weaponry. Never done that, except for the lightsaber, obviously. Beautiful. Okay, that's not what I'm moving. I'm moving the bishop. Okay, so now we have a horizontal line. That's progress. Oops, it ate itself. Okay, let's click. Not the queen, because the queen's too confusing because it has other things. But that may be why we're getting nothing on the queen, because it is going horizontal somehow. Somehow one of these variables isn't increasing. They should both be increasing together, and that should give us a diagonal. But that appears to not be working. While moving number is less than or equal to 8 and moving letter as number is less than 7, we increase them both. Moving letter comes from moving letter as number. Okay. I guess it's time to just print it out. gd.print current notation position. Make games in Arduino instead of a game engine. Game engines are just better. It's so much better. It is fun to make some games just raw Arduino. If you guys have seen, I made some videos on the microcade and the 8-bit cade. I have one here. Hang on. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, it's like a little mini game console with Arduino. Where is it? Can't find it. Hang on. Okay, I can't find it. But anyway, it's this really cool, let me just pull up the website. I met the guy who made it, and it was really cool. So, and he was a really cool guy. So I just want to do a little mention of this. Yeah, so it's this little thing. You might have seen this on my channel. This one is called the microcade. It's like a little mini arcade cabinet, and in there is basically an Arduino board just built into the whole design. You can solder it up for yourself. It's a really fun project. And they have a whole bunch of games, and you can even program more for yourself. So, yeah, if that's the only thing I would consider making games just with Arduino for is this thing, and I have done some of that. But yeah, that's if we're gonna make like a little Minecraft or something. Well, Minecraft would be very hard. Just because all of that generation and everything would be a lot of work for a little Arduino. But yeah, I definitely that was a really cool idea, making games on an Arduino. Yeah, it kind of merged game development and Arduino together, which is cool. And now we have our use a big Arduino. Yeah, I mean, fair. Like the one I used for the lightsaber was the Nano RP2040, but it still had the RAM. I might be thinking the flash memory, but in which case the RAM would be even smaller. But if I remember correctly, the RAM was 16 megabytes, right? So that's a 1/1000th of the RAM inside of your computer, most likely. It might be, 1/500th or something, if you only have 8 gigabytes or whatever. But like that's a tiny fraction of RAM. It's not enough to run something like that usually. And that's on an Arduino board with a lot of RAM. Like that's a lot. Okay, the typical Arduino board, the Arduino Nano, 2 kilobytes. 2 kilobytes. That's disgusting. That's a tiny amount. That's just tiny. Anyway. No, a Godot engine wouldn't fit. Godot engine is, well, how big is Godot engine? Okay, we'll just go to applications, and then we'll take a look at how big Godot engine is. Godot engine is scrolling through many applications at the moment. Godot G. Okay, Godot engine is 265.8 megabytes. The storage on that board, 16 megabytes. This does not come close to fitting. One of the lightest game engines I've seen, if not the lightest. Still way too big for an Arduino board. Anyway, our game is now printing out the squares, and you can see we're changing the letter, but we're not increasing the number. So moving number is not very moving. And the reason is because we didn't actually use moving number, we just used the other number. And so we were just using the static number and not the moving number, and so we weren't moving in the correct direction. And that's an easy fix for us. That's why you print stuff out. It makes it much easier. Okay, if we grab our bishop, move him out to here, click on him, boom, line in place. Now we just need to make that same fix on the other ones. Once again, the fix was very simple. It was just that we were using the number, which is the actual number of the current square that we're on instead of the moving number, which is what we're supposed to be using. So let's just go ahead and slot that in instead. Okay, let's run this. I think the bishop will be working correctly now, and for that matter, the queen as well. Bishop moves out here, click on bishop, not working. Because we're not resetting the moving number and moving letter as number in between, which we should be doing. So we'll just copy this. Remove the type declarations since we're not redeclaring these, we're just resetting them. And then boom. Obviously, if we're using the same variables to increment in every single loop, we need to reset them in between. So we're going to do that. Easy stuff. Yeah, harnessing multiple Arduinos together like that would probably be a pretty big challenge. Oh, that looks beautiful. Beautiful. It's kind of nice too how it actually like only highlights squares of, you know, a single color, because bishops only go on one color, so it's like looks very nice and uniform. Anyway, highlighting for the bishops is now working. Let's pull out our queen and make sure that's working. Dude, that highlights up so much. Obviously, guys, we still have a mess with the highlights because currently they just toggle the squares. The queen toggled these ones off because they were already on, and it's a whole mess, but we'll fix that later. Right now, the important thing is that actually, let's fix that now. Let's fix that now. When you move pieces and stuff, they don't ever remove their highlights, so the highlights always stay. So let's clean that up before we add the knight and the king, which are our two remaining pieces, I think. Create a single method loops. Yeah, that's probably what we want to do, is just go over all of the tiles and clear them out at some point. So let's create a little method for that, exactly like we just like Raj just suggested. No, it has nothing to do with the strings. The strings are perfect. They're very perfect. Very excellent. Okay. Let's see. Okay, private void turn off all squares. And inside of this, we're going to say for the lore of the term spaghetti code. I know if you're doing visual scripting, it definitely looks a lot more like spaghetti because there's so many strings around connecting between the nodes, but I'm sure it was around before that. Maybe it's because of like traces, like, you know, the lines between where, you know, if you could somehow visualize the lines where the executor was actually jumping between, like when it jumps from here to the spaghetti to the function to here and there, and it would be a bunch of lines and it would look so like spaghetti. I don't know. Hit me. Meanwhile, we're gonna loop over that chessboard. Did he? I don't know. I haven't read it in a bit. Maybe I should reread it. It was actually probably a couple years ago that I read it. So yeah, I should probably reread it so I can be up to date on my cleanliness of code. Let's say for int I equals 1, I is less than equal to 8, because this is for the letter, so we're going to have to be in the 1 to 8 range. I plus plus, this should probably not be named I since we're going to have two nested for loops. We want to make it a little clearer, so this is going to be, since this is the letter, this is going to be the column, so to speak. Okay, so the column is going through like this, and then we're going to say for int row equals 0, well, no, this should also be 1 to 8. Row equals 1, row is less than equal to 8, row plus plus. And then let's just say string notation equals, okay, then we just want to combine, we want to combine the column. We need to turn the column into the correct thing. So chess letter to not chess letter to number, chess number to letter. which was the array. Hang on. Chess letters. So chess letters column. So we'll turn the column integer into a chess letter. And then we'll say plus row.toString. So this will get turned into, say, A, and this will get turned into, say, 1. Well, so just as a string, and so then that would give us A1. And then at this notation, what we want to do is we want to, okay, toggle square glow might not be the most helpful function for us now. Because what we want to do is probably we want to have private void set square glow, string square name, bool glowing, and then for that we probably want a private void get private void is square glowing. So now if we wanted to execute toggle square glow, then what we would do is we just say set square glow not is square glowing. Okay, so we don't actually need this thing here once we have these two functions. So we will remove that, but we need the code right now. So as far as is square glowing, we want to say, let's see, we need to get the square, which we'll need to do for both of these. This also is going to need a string square name. Yeah, I saw the chat messages, guys. I was trying to figure out how to respond to them because I do have variables other than strings. Obviously, the kid in the story isn't me. Okay, so yeah, and Uncle Bob would never make fun of me because obviously, I mean, I'm like a child to him. He thinks of me as a son, his favorite son, as a matter of fact. He told me that once. So yeah, we don't need to. I'm obviously not the kid in the story. Also, spaghetti pie sounds disgusting. Okay, so we get the square with the square name, and then we get the visual component of the square. Okay, that's fair. And then we get the material. I guess we have to go through all of these. And then to return if square is glowing or not, we say return square material dot emission enabled. So yeah, very similar to the toggle square glow function, but now we are just returning that. Strings or ropes? Definitely strings. I love strings. Everyone loves strings. Everyone loves strings, and yeah, especially everyone in the chat. Everyone, yeah, definitely strings. Okay, so now we have a function that says whether the square is glowing. To set the square glow, we're just gonna basically copy this entire thing. Actually, we're gonna copy this entire thing, except we're gonna change square to toggle to just square because we're not toggling anything anymore. And we're going to, instead of setting it to the opposite of itself, we're going to set it to whatever the boolean that we have been input is. Yeah, your advice does fall on deaf ears. Well, the ears are not deaf exactly, but they have like a special filter that filters out evil hatred against strings, because strings are actually very good. No, strings are better. Strings are better. So anyway, what we want to do here is we want to say set square glow notation false for all of the squares. So now turn off all squares is complete. And I just want to run the compiler so we can find out where we were using the toggle square glow function and replace that. So we're going to replace this with set square glow active square. Okay, and actually, instead of toggling, now we can actually be a little smarter about what we do, because we might not want to toggle in every situation. So if clicked on position is equal to, let me see, active square changed, right? So when active square is changed, we are checking if the clicked on position is null. What are we doing here? No, we have plenty of memory. Guys, I refuse. We're not developing with there's a reason we're not developing this game with Arduino, and that reason is freedom. Pure freedom. If clicked on position is an empty string. So if we haven't yet clicked on anything, then we want to set square glow on, let's see, set square glow on new active square is going to be true. So we want to turn on the new active square, and we want to set the old active square to false. So if there's an old square that we've moved off of, we want to turn that off. And if there's a new square that we move on to, we want to turn that on. That's pretty straightforward. And then there was one more. And this is for if we've, hang on a second. If we've already clicked on, okay, hang up here is where if we've already clicked on something. If we click on something and we've already clicked on something, then we're going to actually move, and we also want to clear all of the highlights. So we can run that function that we just created, turn off all squares. So when we've actually moved a piece, we update all of the pieces and we clear out all of the highlights. Okay? And then in here, this is where we haven't yet clicked on a piece, but we just did click on a piece, and we loop over all the possible positions that the piece could move to. And instead of toggle square glow, we want to just turn on those squares. So we're going to say set square glow at each of those positions to true. Also, this doesn't, position is a keyword, so we shouldn't be using that. So I'm just going to change that to pause. I'm not sure why it didn't give us an error for that, because that's, I don't know. I guess it's always dot position. Position isn't actually, it's not actually shadowing a variable. It's just, it's unwise to use a keyword like that. Since board manager returns void, okay, this shouldn't be void. That's my bad. That should be a bool. Yeah, there we go. And I don't know if we ever actually used is square glowing, so we'll leave it for now, but we might want to put a to do there that says like remove it if it's actually ends up being useless. Okay, so now we click on the bishop. It gives us our glow squares. We pick one of them, go there. All the other squares disappear. Beautiful. We click on it again, glow squares, move, no glow square. That one was still highlighted. Not sure what that's about. Let me check that again. We move, glow squares. A couple of them remain, so that's kind of odd. What is nice though is now our little glow squares is kind of an eraser for any mistakes. Wait, it doesn't erase here, does it? No, okay, it doesn't erase here. So we can still pick safely. My lightsaber is charged. It actually doesn't have a battery, and it's actually just straight plugged into the wall, no battery. The battery's somewhere else. Okay, so we are having a little issue here. You can see the bishop gives us the correct highlights, and then we move it, but it leaves a couple of highlights in place, and then we have to manually erase them, which obviously we're not actually going to do, but that's kind of annoying that it is actually doing that. Okay, let's try with the rook as well. Once again, with the rook, you can see, oh, we actually have four slots that are being kept there. Wait, is it just everything on the first row? We might have just made a mistake that ignores the first row, because almost everything on the first row just keeps getting ignored. I don't think it's actually happening anywhere else. Yeah, okay, the first row somehow isn't getting cleared by the turn off all squares function. So we actually want to change the range of column to 0 to 7, because it's actually 0 to 7, I think in the one where you change it from a number to a letter. I think it works on a 0 to 7 instead of a 1 to 8. Could be wrong. Rook moves here, that's valid. Click on rook again, moves here, boom. Oh yeah, this is actually so beautiful. I'm happy with this. Not happy with the fact that you can still move wherever you want, even if it's not legal. But we have the possible positions function, so we should be able to do that. Yeah, the highlighting is working now correctly. We did correctly diagnose the problem on there. Oh, hang on. I don't think the pawn highlighting is working correctly. because we're still getting 2 highlights here even when we're all the way here. It works now. Does it work like this? Nice, the diagonal highlights work. Excellent. But it does give us 2 when we're like here. It gives us both options, which obviously is incorrect. Yeah, no, that's correct. Here, 3 options. Okay. Yes, the only problem that seems to be happening is beautiful that the pawns sometimes have, wow, dude, the queen is so powerful. Look at all these squares. Let's put her in the middle. Okay, this one actually is better. Oh my, look at all those squares. That's beautiful. No, the other, God, I just see how far the cord can stretch. It's not a lot. Let me go big cam. Big cam is active. Pretty nice, right? And then this side, same thing. Pretty nice. We can set it like this too. That should balance. Okay. Pretty satisfying. Am I right? Alright, now it's back in place. Perfect. It doesn't need to be. It's just that right now it's plugged into the wall so that it can run for hours on end, however long we need to stream for, rather than me having to have a battery and then the battery dies halfway through the stream and then we lose our beautiful decoration, which is the only actually beautiful decoration that we have. That's it, guys. That's the only real decoration. I mean, we have a couple of immaculate paintings, obviously, but I have great taste in art, as you can see. But yeah, we take another week before it's actually, guys, it is done. Can I break something? No, guys, I don't break stuff with my lightsaber or otherwise. Breaking stuff is bad. I'm not gonna break something. What do you want me? What would I break anyway? I'll let you in on a secret, guys. It's not actually chop stuff. It's actually made of polycarbonate with LEDs inside. And I released a whole video telling you how to do it, so you should probably know that. Yeah, no, you could whack. I guess, like, it would probably, like, if we did saber versus this glass, probably saber would win, just because polycarbonate is a lot more resilient than glass. But, like, I'm not gonna just break a glass. Like, what? That would not be smart. Okay, so, yeah. But no, we're not breaking a... Can you play baseball with it? I don't know if we would be able to stand up to baseball. I don't know how hard people swing those bats. Let me check. How hard is a baseball swing? Because there's a swing and the ball, and there's all the force of the ball, and then the swing is powerful enough to make the ball go the other direction, and the ball's going pretty fast. So that's a lot of force. Oh my goodness, the batter exerts some 6,000 to 8,000 pounds of force on the ball. So, I don't know what the breaking of polycarbonate is. It's going from a speed of 90 to 110 miles per hour. Oh my. Oh my. Oh my. Yeah, so that's probably not gonna, it's probably not gonna stand up to that. I don't think so. It could definitely hit a baseball. Like if you just throw it, like if you're just like tossing it up, whacking it with the lightsaber, that's chill. That's fine. Absolutely fine. Nothing bad is gonna happen there. But if someone's actually pitching at you and you're actually hitting as hard as a baseball player is hitting, I don't think that's gonna go good. I don't think it's gonna go good. I feel like it's gonna crack. I don't know. It'd be a worthy experiment. If someone wants to run that experiment, definitely get a friend with a baseball and run that experiment on video and send it to me so I can know the answer to the question. can I translate it into metric? I don't know, 90 miles per hour to kilometers per hour. You guys are your kilometers. Okay, so it would be from 144 to 177 kilometers per hour. 144 to 170 something kilometers per hour. If you hit wood as hard as you can, will it break to wood or will it break? Depends on the wood. If it's like, because like, guys, think about it. Like, this is true of anything. Like, a wood stick against a wood block sitting on the ground, wood stick will break because wood block has the support of the ground, right? Like, it doesn't work like that. At that point, the cavemen had more effective weaponry. No, I could take on those cavemen with this lightsaber. I'm not sure if I have the strength of the cavemen aren't like what. Okay. Anyway, show me a caveman and I'll show you what I can do to him with my lightsaber. That's my challenge to you. Hashtag cavemen aren't real. Anyway, we should probably get a little bit more coding done. I'm pleased that we got the highlighting fixed in such a quick and effective way. That was definitely very good. No. Caveman stick is way weaker than my stick. If you picked up a stick like off the ground outside, this would definitely beat that. I was thinking more like a baseball bat type of thing, okay? Like that's where I'd be worried. If you just pick up like a stick out of your yard, easy. It's gonna chop through that exactly like a lightsaber. Like, you got no shot. I'm gonna wreck you with that. No, just come at me. Go ahead, bring it on. I'm ready. Anyway, so yeah, the problem we're dealing with is pawn currently is any of these spots here. It wants him to be allowed to move two slots, which obviously is not actually allowed. So yeah, let's just demonstrate that. This obviously is valid, but shouldn't be allowed to move two here. Definitely shouldn't be allowed to move to here. So yeah, it's a whole problem. So we need to check the double forward square situation under the pawn. Okay, primitive and technology don't go together. You can't say fancy primitive technology stick. Like, those words don't combine. That's not combinable. It doesn't work. That doesn't. Okay. So double forward square is obviously correct, that we need to check if double forward square. Okay, so if forward square is equal to empty, and if, currently we're only checking if double forward square is empty. And if the square 2 squares in front of the pawn is empty, then it's just allowed to go there. That's not how it works. So we need to add another check, obviously, to check if the pawn is on their home row. So if, let's say the side is, this is already under pawn of white. Okay, so we need to actually add support for black pawns because we currently don't have that. But this is the white pawn. So for the white pawn, we also need to check that, let's see, what is our thing? Number is equal to 2 to make sure that they're on the correct row, the home row for pawns. And now you're allowed to move 2 on your first turn, but not on your second, and not if you're right here. Obviously, for now, you can actually move back to your home row, and then it would let you do that again, but that's not allowed in real chess, so we're fine. Dang it. Because I don't know. Why? I appreciate you guys telling me. I appreciate it. I'm just very unhappy that I keep leaving the giant camera on. Anyway, all I did was I noticed that currently you were allowed to move the pawn forward 2 squares if the square 2 squares in front of the pawn was empty, which obviously is not true. You also need to be on the home row, which for the white pieces, since this is the white pawn, is going to be row 2. And I also noticed that we don't actually have implementation for the black pawn yet. Why is my camera so big? The camera is not big. The camera is just a webcam. But the, this isn't even actually, I'm going to remember to switch this back. But, oh yeah, this is actually the whole camera. All right, I thought sometimes I have it like zoomed in a little bit, like like maybe like a little more like that. And then, you know, it actually has, you know, a little bit of extra room, but, yeah, that was actually the full camera that you were looking at there. I don't know why it's snapping like that. just meant to move it narrowly. Okay, is that better? Now the lightsaber is bigger and my head is bigger as well. Boom. Beautiful. Anyway, now we're going to go back to this because we're going back to coding. So now that's... The camera came with the computer, and the computer was a gift. So, you know, it was a free camera. There you go. And no, it doesn't have an Arduino board. It's a very, very expensive, big, fat motherboard that is very small and tiny and has much smaller components than an Arduino. It's extremely powerful. And it has way more RAM than an Arduino because, yeah, Arduino has no RAM, as we discussed earlier. Anyway, yeah, as I mentioned, I also noticed, now that we're back in the code editor, because we're done looking at the big camera, because I switched back, we haven't implemented black pawns. So let's go ahead and implement that, because that's pretty easy. We just have to make a couple of adjustments to the white pawn code. So if it's a black pawn, instead of number +1, we're going to do number -1, and number -2, just instead of moving up in the numbers, black pawns move down in the numbers. So that's pretty straightforward. So we just change all of the number plus anythings to number minus something, and invert that. And also, instead of their home row being row 2, their home row is row 7. So that's pretty straightforward change there. And instead of checking so they can only attack black pieces, we have to check so they can only attack white pieces. I think that's it. Chess notation to array value goes from a chess notation, so let's say A2, to the actual value in the array. So it would go from A2 to W pawn if it's in this current setup. So it'll take the chess notation and give you the actual piece on the board at that location. The name of that piece or whatever, which is not just the name, but the side and the name. So yeah, let's run it and see if the black pawns now also have the correct highlighting. Ding, dook, 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 dook. It's perfect. The black chess pawns are working perfectly. Excellent. Okay. No, I think that was the game making that sound. Yeah, the game just made that was just the game glitching out. It just made that sound. Yeah. No, actually, I do have a pet duck. Yeah, it was the pet duck. It was the pet duck. Yeah, he makes a lot of weird sounds. Nothing can't be helped. Can't be helped. Yeah, why don't you like ducks? Ducks are pretty chill, I would say. Father once gave you a duck head for dinner. Oh, dude, that's crazy. That is crazy. Okay, yeah, that's pretty intense. Oh, man. Man, that's crazy. Yesterday you ate a duck. All right. Seems kind of I mean, okay. All right. That's I've never eaten duck. I don't actually, have I? No, I don't think so. I don't think I've ever eaten duck. Anyway, we have pawn, white and black pawns. Those are the only pieces that it should depend whether it's white or black. So we should have that clarified. Rook, bishop, queen. So all we're missing are knights and the king. Let's do the king first since it's easy and we like easy stuff because easy stuff is good. And yeah, so the king is just going to be one in any direction. Yeah, let's go ahead and add that before we get into the knights, which are probably going to be hard. Yeah, no, I don't know if I could bring myself to eat a duck head staring. Like, what? How do you even, like, there's so many different types of meat. Like, shouldn't he have chopped it up and, shouldn't he have chopped it up? I mean, it didn't have the feathers on it, right? You already removed that, right? And the bill? Like, you're not going to eat the bill. How was this prepared? We need clarity on this. What, like, did he just slap a duck head in front? Like, did he cook the duck head for 2 hours and then just slap it in front of you? Did he remove all the feathers in the beak and then put it down? Like, well, yeah, okay, never mind. We don't need clarity. Let's move on. That's disgusting. If piece name is equal to king, no, no, he didn't eat a raw duck head. That's no, there's no way that he would be dead. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. So the king movement went in any direction. Basically we just need to check. We could do a for loop probably. For int. Hang on. Let's first grab the moving number and the moving letter as number. We actually don't need the moving number because we're gonna say for int moving number equals number minus 1. Moving number is less than number plus 1, so that should actually be less than or equal to, because we're going to go from 1 to the left, same 1 to the right, except this is the number, so it's 1 behind, same 1 above, and moving number plus plus. Oh, okay. And then we're going to do another for loop where we say int moving letter. Okay, let's say letter as number is going to be moving letter as number equals letter as number. Letter as number is, well, this should be moving letter as number minus 1, sorry. Letter as number is less than moving letter as number is less than letter as number plus 1. Moving letter as number plus. All right. If you come back and you have a duck and you are eating a duck when you come back, I'm going to be very unhappy. We do not eat ducks on this stream. Like, that's just disgusting. All right. Anyway, not their heads, at least. Okay, just like get rid of the head, just eat the body, you know, something. I'm sure that's like just chicken or whatever. That's fine. You can't just start chopping off the head and eating the head, especially not raw. That's disgusting. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's just okay. Yeah. Moving on. Okay. So we're looping through all of the squares, but currently we're looping through all of the squares adjacent to the king, and we're including the square the king is on. So we need to make sure that we don't actually include the square that the king is on, because the king can't move to the square it's already on, because that would not be allowed. That wouldn't be a move. So we can say string notation position equals, I haven't used that name yet, right? Okay. String notation position equals chess letters moving letter as number. So let's just turn that into a letter, and then we're also going to combine that with moving number dot toString. Okay, so this is, again, if the king is on A1, this is going to go through, let's make it a little easier. If the king is in the middle of the board, let's say he's on E4, this is going to go through all of the squares adjacent, so ding, 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 ding. All of the adjacent squares, and currently it's going over the square the king is on, so we need to say if notation position does not equal position. Again, we used the word position. All right, we're gonna have to leave that one. I don't know why it didn't stop me from using the word position when the word position is highlighted as a keyword, but we're just gonna have to deal with it. If notation position does not equal position, so if this isn't the spot the king is actually on, then we can run this can continue searching function, except we don't actually care about whether we are allowed to continue searching. All we care about is if the valid position comes out as valid. So we're going to pass in notation position, we're going to pass in the side, and we're going to pass in a, well, we need to make a string position, string new position, and And then we're going to go and add new position to valid positions. So valid position dot add new position. Okay, so we don't actually care about this the result of the can continue searching function, because that's only useful if we're going in a line where the squares after it are determined, where we're only allowed to search the squares after it if that square is empty. So we don't care about that because we're not actually going to go down the line the king is on. It's only just the ones right next to it. So we don't care about the Boolean that this returns. We're just going to run it, and we're going to say add the new position to the valid positions if it's valid, which this thing will determine for us. So that should be the king moving, actually. Pretty straightforward. We just want to make sure that it doesn't add itself the square the king was on, which we do in this if statement right here. We also need to actually, since this new position is an out parameter, we need to actually do that. Okay, let's see if this worked. Move the pawn, move to pawn, king. Okay, king's not getting any movement options. Oh, well, it worked there. Oh, so we must have just gotten an error. Hang on, I assume if we're on the edge, we get an error. So we need to actually check that as well. Okay, so we need to make sure, okay, I think that's kind of unlikely that you had that chicken delicacy, whatever that would be called. We need to not only check if this is a position other than the one the king is currently on, we also need to check if it's off the board. So if, let's see. So we could, one way to do it would be saying moving number equals number minus 1, or you know, whatever the side of the board is, or we could just add a check in this if statement here, which is probably clearer. It's probably easier for people who are looking at the code to see what's going on. So in addition to checking that it's not the current position, we also need to make sure moving number is greater than, let's see, moving number is on the range of 1 to 8, right? Let me check. Moving number, yeah, moving number is on the range of 1 to 8. So moving number is greater than equal to 1, and moving number is greater than, less than equal to 8, and moving letter as number. Actually, I think, hang on. Let's check. The chess letters function is probably what's giving us an error. So we might actually need to do this if statement before that, because obviously, yeah, if this is out of bounds, then we're going to get an error on that. So before this, we're going to do an early return, which I know you guys like. Before this, well, not an early return, but an early continue. We need to check if these are in the array. So if, what we're going to do is we're going to check if these are outside the array, and if they are, then we're going to just continue to the next section of the loop. No, we can't be hopping on Fortnite, I don't think. And that's not really the kind of content we do. Okay, so since we're continuing, if any of these are true, we need to make these the opposite. So we need to check if it's out of bounds. So if moving number is less than 1, or moving number is greater than 8, then it's out of bounds. If moving letter as number is greater than, is less than 0, or, oh, this should all be ors as well. Moving letter as number is greater than 7. So if we're out of bounds, then we're just going to continue on to the next loop. Otherwise, we'll check this stuff and get stuff done. That should keep it from being an error. So let's move these pawns out of here, and then click on our king. Boom, we get the right ones. If we move all the way over to this side of the board, that's a little odd. We're also going to need to add not moving into check, but that's something else to worry about. Yeah, so we're not, hang on. Oh, we made a mistake with the loop, so it's never including the ones on the left, which is a problem. Let's add that next. Oh, we said less than instead of less than equal. So that's our mistake. Some gusto. All right, I'll drink some water. That'll get me ready. Yeah, motorcycles are, I don't know. Not like a super big motorcycle fan. It just seems like a regular car is, safer and happier. All right, but we're not getting any errors now. Even if we're in the corner, we're still chilling. We can obviously still take enemy pieces, which is nice. We will need to add not being allowed to move into check at some point, probably. But other than that, the king's movement is looking pretty good. So that just leaves us with the knight movement. I don't think you can tape two motorcycles together. I don't think they're gonna stay together very well. Motorcycles vroom fast, and so they would kind of that doesn't seem like a good plan. Yeah, don't. That's not a good plan. Don't do that. No, and also cars, like, it's a whole, yeah, no. I'm not a car person. Electronics are better. Maybe one day they'll have like DIY electric cars, and then we can do that. But other than that, that's not happening. Gasoline and explosions and stuff, that's just, no, that's terrible. Yeah, the Arduinos are currently not at the point where you would trust your life with them for an electric car. That's not a good plan. Also, the hard parts of the electric car aren't really the software and or even like the hardware to run the software. Like, that's pretty easy. The hard part is, the motors and stuff that make it go vroom as fast as a gas car, which has explosions powering it. So, yeah, that's the hard part. And we don't currently, I don't have electronics that can do that. I don't know about you guys, but yeah. So currently we need to add the knight movement, which is going to be something. I think what we're going to do is possibly yeah, but like the Arduino itself, like I've had enough trouble with Arduino devices to know that I'm not trusting that. No, way too risky. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, accidentally just kill her. So the knights. That's what we're trying to think about, where they can move. Basically, a knight can move. Let's see this. So let's say we select each of the 4 possible ways, right? So this way, this way, this way, this way. And then on each of those 4 ways, we check each of the possible sides. So we go forward, forward, check left and right. We go backward, backward, check left and right. We go right, right, check up and down. We go left, left, check up and down. Those are the possible positions that a knight is allowed to move to. I don't know if there's any way to make that more elegant than just checking do-do-dit, 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 do-do-dit. That was the duck again. That was the pet duck making those sounds again. Helpful of him, though, because obviously we can't, know what I'm talking about without those sounds. So that was helpful of him. But maybe you guys should just use the ping, the @SaberC++ thing. Like, that way you'll spell it correctly. Because it's not spelled like that. Okay. Motorcycles are amazing. All right, what makes a motorcycle amazing? I mean, I guess it's nice. Like, I get the feeling of, like, you're like, and you got the wind like blowing in your hair and you feel all fast. Like, I can see that. That seems nice. But yeah, if you have to retreat to your abode, then farewell. We'll hopefully see you same time next week. Let's see. we still have an hour and 15 minutes left, but we might not use all of that time for working on this game. So that's definitely something. Hang on. I'm getting a call. I might have to answer this. Okay, guys, it's from an unknown number from Mexico, so we're definitely answering this. But I'm gonna have to mute because I don't know if it's actually something important. So I'll hopefully nobody can lip read. Better answer it quick though. Yeah, that straightened it up pretty quick. I said, hello, and they immediately hung up. So I think that was a pretty good result there. Didn't actually have to, talk to a human for clearing up a confusion or something. So that's good. Anyway, it was a good call. It was a good. No, it's oh no, it's the cartel. They found out about the lightsaber. Guys, I'm gonna have to shut down the stream now because no, I estimate it'll take them around 1 hour and 15 minutes to find where I am and knock on the door. So 1 hour and 15 minutes from now, I'm gonna have to close down the stream and absolutely run. Okay, but until then, we can just chill. So if the piece name is equal to night, what we're gonna do is we're going to we have a lightsaber already. I'll use that to hold them off and until actually that's a terrible plan. I should just run. Yeah, I'll just run. I don't know, it feels like there should be a way to make this a little more elegant. So because what we want to do is 4 times, 1 in each direction. We want to go let me move my eye out to the middle again. What we want to do is 4 times in each direction. We want to go 2 in one direction and then check the 2 sides of that. But I don't know how to turn that into something more elegant than just manually checking each of these. Let me think about it for a second. Let's say we create a function that takes in 2 variables. No, it was just because we were afraid the cartel was coming. But we have calculated that it will take them 1 hour and 15 minutes to get here, so we have another hour and 15 minutes, and then I'll close down the stream and run. Okay, so let's say we have a function, and we pass in 2 numbers, right? One of them will be the number that gets turned into a letter, and one will be the number that just stays as a number. And then we pass in 2 numbers, and what it does is it increases one of those numbers, and then so one of the numbers it increases by 2, and the other number it makes one that's 1 greater than that, and it makes a variable that's 1 less than that, right? So now we have 3 variables, the one that's 2 in that direction, and the one that's 1 above this, and 1 above this. So we basically have this, and this, and this. And then we combine them together to create 2 variables, one of which, 2 2D position variables, right? So these are probably going to be vector 2s, and one of them is this new variable that's 2 greater than this and 1 greater, and this new variable that's 2 greater than this and 1 less. And if we want to go sideways, we just flip which variable is in which spot. Pretty elegant, right? It may not make sense, but I'll show it. I'll make a function that does it. So this function is going to be called needs to return 2 vector 2s. That's kind of unfortunate. How are we going to return 2 vector 2s efficiently and cleanly? Obviously with a vector 4, where the first 2 parts are the first point and the second 2 variables are the second point. This vector 4 is going to be no, guys, relax. I'm not shutting this stream. It was a joke. Can a guy not joke around here? It's not even like I joked about something serious. I joked about closing a stream for one night. Like it's not. We're gonna create a vector 4, and this is going to be called night positions in direction. And we're going to take in the we're going to call the first variable the long way. So we're going to say int long way, and the other one is going to be called int short way. So the long way is the way where we go 2. Okay, obviously I can't run it without doing that. Return vector 4.0. The long way. What do you mean it doesn't? Is it capital 0? Yeah, I should have used GD script just so I could learn it, but unfortunately we use C# because I'm more familiar with that. Okay, so the night is here. The long way is going to be the way where we're going to, whether it's ding ding or ding ding or ding ding, whichever way we're going to. And then the short way is going to be whichever way we're going 1 in each direction. Okay, so for example, for this night position, the first thing we would do is we would run this function with, let's see, so this is E right here, A, B, C, D, E, and 4, and so E gets turned into 5, right, because it's 1, 2, actually I think it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think E gets turned into 4, so we have 4 as the long way, and we have also 4, that's kind of unfortunate, also 4 as the short way, so then it goes +2 in the long way, and it'll go +1 and -1 in the short way. Okay, and then it'll return the +1 vector 2 as the first half of the vector 4, and the -1 as the second half of the vector 4. Probably still doesn't make any sense, but it's okay. I'm going to turn it into a function, and then the code will be very clear and nice, and I'll add comments if necessary. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to say int position towards long way equals long way plus 2. And then we're going to make a couple of vector 2's. So vector 2 vector 2 night pause 1 equals vector 2. Let's create a vector 2 night pause, hang on, position towards long way, and then short way +1. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing for the other one, except it's going to be night pause 2, and this is going to be short way -1. And I'm doing it long, but then I'm going to trim it down short, so it's like a one-liner probably. And then we're going to return a vector 4 that's made up of night pause 1.x, night pause 1.y, and then night pause 2.x and night pause 2.y. Okay, so you see what we're doing here, guys. Basically, we're going, let me just remove this variable. I don't think it's actually helping. So we go 2 in the long way, right? So if we're on, this square, we go 1, 2, okay? And then we go 1 each way, ding and ding. Those are the 2 little L's that the knight can take, There's 2 L's that the knight can take in each direction. So then we get those 2 squares, and then we return them as a vector 4. And then in the knight function, what we're going to do is we're going to say vector 4 night positions 1, night positions up maybe, up equals night positions in direction. And then for the long way, we're going to put, let's see, what is the long way? All right, so for the first one, the long way is going to be the letter, okay? Because the first one we're going up, so this is going to be the letter. So if it's on rank E, this is going to be 5, okay? So we just need to turn the letter into a number. So we're just going to say chess letter to number. And then we're going to pass in letter. And then we're going to pass in the number as the other variable. So that's the square that we're currently on, and we want to go up and to the left and right of that. So this will give us the 2 positions going like kind of upward. Okay, the lightsaber is not from Mexico. None of the parts are. Most of the parts are from, I think most of the parts I don't know where they source their parts from. The store I bought most of them from, I bought a couple from Amazon, so those could be from anywhere. I bought some from the Custom Saber shop, which is based in the US, but they could have gotten materials from who knows where. And then I bought one hilt directly from somewhere in China, I believe. The metal hilt I bought that from somewhere in China, I believe. So probably some stuff made in the US, some stuff made in China, that kind of a thing. Nothing made in Mexico. Okay, and then here, what we want to do is, since we're going down, oh, we actually don't have a way to go down. We need to invert this. So we need to have a way that goes, that tells us whether we're going up or down as far as the long way goes, because it could be long way plus or long way minus, and that would also be left or right. So we need to say int multiplier, I think. And then we'll do this 2 times the multiplier. Okay, so if we're going up, then we'll pass in 1, and if we're going down, then we'll pass in -1. And that'll control whether we are going up or down in this little function. So what we're going to do for going down is we're going to keep it with letter and number just like this, but then we're just going to pass in -1. And then for going left and right, very similar, but knight position left is going to be negative. So let's do right first. Knight position right, we're just going to switch the order of these two. So it's number and then chess number to letter. Wait, chess number to letter. That's not right. Chess letter to number. Chess letter to number. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing to go left, except it's going to be -1. So you can see we've created a little function that will hopefully work correctly, and by running it 4 times, we get the 8 positions the knight might be allowed to move to, and with them in pairs in vector 4s. So obviously we need to break those apart. I'm wondering if vector 4s was, yeah guys, my life could be in danger, so you guys better appreciate this stream. Yeah, that's all. Instead of putting them in vector 4s, I think maybe we should add them to an array. So if we add an array as an out parameter, then we could have this add the vector 2s to an array rather than actually having them returned as vector 4s, because that's kind of unpleasant. So yeah, let's make this a void. And then let's go ahead and make a string. Wait, no, this is a vector 2. Vector 2 array. Yeah, okay, so wait, this is going to be a vector 2. Hang on. I'm just struggling forgetting how to declare an array. Anyway, a vector 2 array called possible knight positions. Okay, and then we're going to add another parameter, out possible knight positions, which we'll add in just a second here. Okay, so basically now, in addition, we're also going to do out vector 2 array positions, and then instead of returning a vector 4, we're going to say positions.add knight pos 1, positions.add knight pos 2. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. So now, instead of doing that crap, where we return vector 4s and then we'd have to go through all of those, now all of our stuff is just in this one array. So, this should actually be capitalized, because we capitalize our function names. We're doing upper Pascal case. Anyway, now that we have all of our things in a handy vector 2 array, what we can do is we can loop over that array. So we can say for pos in, well, this should be vector 2 pos in possible knight. I'm really struggling with typing right now. Possible knight positions. We'll loop over those positions, and what we'll do is we will turn each of those numeric positions into a letter position, and these numerical positions are Yeah, we'll just turn them into letter positions if they're valid. So we're going to go ahead and check, and we already have, guys, if it's a choice between typing and copying and pasting from somewhere, you know we're going to do all of the work that we need to find that somewhere and copy and paste from it. We just did this little check that will let us continue on from the loop if it's not a valid position. So we're just going to go ahead and do that. Okay, actually, we need to change this to pause.x and pause.y. No, I think it is a joke, honestly. No, guys, don't worry. I've calculated it out before because I was worried about it before, and it will take them an hour from now to find me. Okay, so we can keep streaming for an hour, and then I'll have to go on the run. That's all. Okay, so the only issue here is these are in a different range. If you remember, because up here we were expecting the number to be in a range of 1 to 8, whereas the letter number, right, the number that gets turned into a letter was expected to be in a range of 0 to 7. So what we need to do is we need to adjust the ranges on these so that they're the same, because we don't know where they're going to be, and in this check here we need to have them be in the same range. So let's make that range 0 to 7. And this could be an issue. Yeah, that is fortunate that Uncle Bob has books with him. That's why everyone should be an author, really, just so they have some self-defense on hand. I think that's the main reason why everyone should be an author, because self-defense is important, obviously. Okay, so the problem is if we change the things into, right, so but the problem basically is currently we're doing this little trick where we flip-flop between the letter versus the number being in these different spots. Yeah, that would have been really bad. Thankfully, Uncle Bob is still with us. I don't know what we're gonna do. Honestly, he's gotta figure out a way to code immortality, or I don't know what we're gonna do. Yeah. So, right, the fact that we're flip-flopping between which one's the letter and which one's the number makes it a little difficult for us. So maybe we should actually, in between these, do our little for loop, so that for the first set, we can do it one way, and then for the second set, we'll do it the other way, and in between, obviously, we'll clear the array, so we don't have the one for the second set. Possible night positions, empty. Okay, so in this first case, we know that the number is always going to be, let me check this. We take the number, or we take the letter first, right? So that the letter is always going to be the long way in this first set. So the .x of both is what needs to be in the range of 0 to 7. Okay? So the .x of both needs to be in the range of 0 to 7. So, and we only actually have, yeah, so we only actually need one check for pause.x and one check for pause.y. So, no, we don't. What am I doing? Okay, pause.x needs to be in the range of 0 to 7, and pause.y can therefore be in the range of 1 to 8. Hopefully that wasn't too confusing, guys. Basically because now we're just doing it in this order, so we know the letter will always be first, and it's the 0 to 7, and the number will always be second, except it gets, no, it doesn't. Yeah, so the letter will always be first, which is 0 to 7, and the number will always be second, which is 1 to 8. So once we've checked to make sure that those are in range, what we can do is we can turn those numbers into actual letters. And so we can say string notation position equals, just like we always love to do, equals chess letters, and we're going to put in pause.x, because that's the letter, as per this, plus, and then we're just straight up going to take the second one, which is the number pos.y dot toString. Okay, and then we're going to once again use our function can continue searching, which is coming in very handy. And so we don't need the boolean from it, because obviously the knight doesn't care about that, about such things. It can jump wherever it wants. So we're going to just use it to get whether the position is valid or not. So we're going to say string notation position side, and last but not least, we need to have an out string. So string out, nope, not out, because obviously out is taken. String out string, no, what? It returns to us a position. String, I was going to say valid position, but it's not necessarily valid. So we'll just call it valid position. And then we're going to say valid positions dot add valid position. Okay, maybe we should call it potentially valid position. Potentially valid position. Okay, I know I'm rushing through this, guys, but I think it'll be clearer once I have it done, which is why I'm hurrying through it, because I think it'll be easier to just explain it once I make sure it works. Hello, Daniel, longtime viewer, love your content, keep it up. Thank you. I appreciate that. However, I was watching your previous streams, and a lot of people were talking about pawns in Godot, but they don't exist. No, they do not. Unless you're making a chess game, in which case they do. Don't let these pawn-loving buffoons fool you. They may try. They will not succeed with their pawn nonsense. No. Yeah, the pawn is a class in Unreal, and since we're making a chess game, it happens to be a thing here, which is why there's some confusion about that. But that's all. I appreciate it though, thank you. Okay, so then for this one, we switch the order, so numbers first and chess letter is second, so we have to flip that. Flip the ranges, so now we're checking if X is in the range of 1 to 8 and if Y is in the range of 0 to 7, and we need to switch, we're making a chess letter from Y and a chess number from X. Yeah, that should be pretty straightforward. Well, it's not. None of this is straightforward. This whole thing is actually very confusing. Let's see if it works, though, and then hopefully we can go back and go through it and make sure we understand it. Obviously, this is a for each. Comma expected. I don't know. Let's build it again now that we fixed the for each. Okay, it still is expecting a comma. Where? Oh, there's not a. We don't say string there. We're calling a function. You don't need to say the type. All right, that was. No, you're not. No, you're definitely not. That's a scam. Okay, how do you clear an array in C#? Is it just .clear? Let's see. I should have probably used a list for safety, but oh well. That's fine. We were able to do it with an array and memory savings. So you guys can't exactly get mad at me for using strings instead of character arrays and then get all hyped about using lists. So no definition for dot. Don't tell me it's a capital X. Okay, let's make that a capital X. Good. And then the Y. Okay, that's not going to work. There's apparently no X's out there in the world aside from the dot X's, but there are a lot of Y's. Okay, let's try that again. More issues. String notation position. An explicit conversion exists. Float to int. We're not trying to do float. Oh, this should be a vector to int. We should be dealing with maybe int vector 2. Now I have to look up what that type is. All right, let's see. C# int vector 2. It is vector 2 int. We're just not getting any syntax highlighting. Oh, hang on, that's the Unity documentation. So hopefully there's an actual vector2 struct, which there might actually not be in. Oh yeah, that could be rough. Okay, yeah. So I was thinking of vector2 ints, but that's not a thing in C#. That's only in Unity, which obviously I used to use. I think. Yeah, I think that's only in Unity. So we may not actually have a structure for holding 2 ints, which means that we would have to turn these into integers when we want them. So let's just do that. Godot round int, round float 2 int. There we go. Except obviously we want to do it in C#, so I guess it's just going to be math.round or whatever. Let's just try and see what happens. Math.round. Okay, it's not highlighting me, so I'm a little worried about that. But let's build and see. Yeah, what is their math module called? Godot.mathf. Okay, well that's kind of long, but we'll try it. Godot.mathf.round. Maybe it's just mathf, like in Unity. No, mathf doesn't contain a definition. All right, well, what does it contain a definition for? Oh, round to int, maybe. I should probably bring chat back in case you guys are screaming at me with. Okay, no, okay. Movie time. No, guys, we got to get this work done. Currently, we're just fuzzy searching by trying different things. Okay, there we go. We found it. mathf.round2int. We also... No, we put it out there. Oh, we forgot it here. And presumably here as well, yeah. Okay. No overload method for clear takes 0 arguments. What? What arguments are you expecting? We also need to make sure that we use this, we round this to an int here. And we also need to round this to an int before we toString it, or it's going to say, 1.0 instead of 1, which obviously will not give us the correct, it's not the correct string. Okay. So we have to turn those into ints, unfortunately, because we don't have like a vector to just int object that just holds 2 integers, which is kind of annoying. But also using C++ creation instead of okay, a vector2 array does not contain a definition for add. Yeah, I really meant to use a list here. I don't know. When is movie time? I don't know, when we get done the work. I'll say 10:10. 10:10 at the latest. That will give us 20 minutes of movie time. Hopefully that is plenty. Okay, we're changing from an array of vector2s to a list because that's cleaner and nicer and happier, and everyone likes it better. This is not changing to that. This is still a void. This is changing to that. List vector2. Okay, there we go. Let's see if that works. Almost done. Use of unassigned parameter positions. What? Well, it's being passed in. Must be assigned to before control leaves the current method. It's being passed in. Oh, I guess we have to actually create it here. Does that work? No. Okay. Space equals space new list vector2. Yes, we have no shorthand for that in here, but that's okay. No, still not working. Hang on, let me comment these out. Maybe it's these that's the problem. Does it work for the first one? No. Okay. Let me check and make sure this is a reasonable ask. Godot C# pass list as out parameter. Let's see what is to be seen in our lovely Google search. I don't think we're on the right Reddit page here. Hang on. Yes, list T as out parameter. Light mode. Disgusting. It's lasering my eyes. Brighter than the lightsaber behind me. It's not, but it's close. Okay. So, yeah, static void method out int I, and then you pass in that as an out parameter. It doesn't like it. Exactly. Initialize the out parameter in the method body. Yeah, but I don't want to. I want it to... Okay, so now if we can't actually pass in an out parameter that already contains some amount of information, then we're going to have to run our for loop after every single one of these, because it will just because it wants us to, in the function, say say positions equals new list vector 2, which will obviously remove anything that was already in this, which is unfortunate. Which kind of defeats the whole elegance of the system, because we're no longer getting a beautiful array. Now everything is sad and decrepit. Maybe we should, let's see, create a list, and then we have a return a list, and then we just append the list that it's returning. Yeah, let's do that. So we're changing this once again to be a list vector 2, and then no more out parameter. Remove that. So that's nice and happy, because out parameters can cause trouble. And then we can say list vector 2 positions equals new list, blah, 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 positions.add, and then return positions. Okay, now as far as this goes, possible night positions, we're just going to say possible night positions dot append this list. And obviously we're going to remove the out parameter. So that's pretty nice. These are a little long, but we'll have to live with it. Okay, and then that should do the trick. Then we clear it. We still have to clear it out, unfortunately, because we haven't. What we probably should have done, guys, is made it so that the letters and numbers, like currently the letters are on the range 0 to 7, just so they can be in that array. And the numbers are on the range 1 to 8, of course, because those are the actual chess numbers. So we probably should have made them both on the same range, so this could be like, you know, invertible. But it's not, so that's okay. We'll have to just deal with it. Okay, there's no definition for append, so I need to look about append something. Append list to list, C#. Oh, you could just use .add with a list. Oh, no, .add range. Right, let's see. Build it up. Okay. Takes... Okay, we accidentally left the out parameters here, guys. We're getting super close, and, you know, close to finished means close to movie time, baby. And then one more error here. Oh, well, now we actually need to go back to saying this equals new list. vector 2. All right, I think it's going to work after this. At least I think it's going to compile. Hopefully it then works after all this work. Whoop. Oh, that's amazing. That's actually so satisfying that we actually just did that. So, you know, they always say, and rightly so, that you should build your programs in pieces so that you don't, oops, accidentally killed the knight by himself. But they always say you should build your programs in pieces, which is actually a wise idea, so that you don't, you know, have a whole thing and then it doesn't work and you have no idea where in the process you failed. But we somehow managed to pull that off. We wrote it all in one go somehow and escaped any mistakes. So yeah, now our knights are actually working really nicely. They're able to take pieces of the enemies and not of their own. As you can see by the highlights, obviously we still don't actually have any rules keeping people from just doing whatever they want. But we can implement those now that we have a fully fleshed out possible positions function. We can just use this to make sure that people don't move where they're not allowed to. But as a very wise chatter informed us, we just had to believe in ourselves and everything would all work out. And it did. So, let's see. What else was there? So we need to add some to-dos just before we sign off, so we don't miss important things. So for example, we need to make sure king can't move into check. All right, that's pretty important. We need to add en passant to the pawns. Add en passant to both pawns. What else, guys? What else do we need to add? Just want to make sure we get our to-dos in so we don't forget them. By the way, we're not signing off just yet. We're hopefully going to do movie night or game stuff or something. But we made good progress today. I'm very happy with the progress we made. We added all of our pieces and we got the highlighting working correctly. So yeah, I think we're in good shape to hopefully finish up by next week. To-dos down. The main other thing that we need to do is actually just somewhere, I don't know where, make sure pieces can only move to actually allowed positions. Instead of just using those allowed positions for highlights, we need to use those to make sure that people only move where they're allowed to. Oh, and we need to make sure that people take turns. White and black have to take turns. But those are the main things that we need to do, aside from maybe adding some camera movement. Add some camera movement so that we can see the board better, maybe some adjustable camera movement so we can look around the board, and obviously we need to switch between white and black positions. But I think those are the main things we need to do. So yeah, if we have our coding work out of the day, coding is out of the way for today. So I am going to close down Godot. I'm going to get some more water. I really should get a cup so I don't have to get more water so often. Get a bigger cup, I mean. Yeah, I will be right back after I get some water. Come up with your suggestions of what we're doing. I think we're watching a movie first. Yes, that is all for now. All right, we're back. Let's go big camera for now since we don't have anything on the screen. Yeah, it's night in my country, like early night. Like I haven't not gone to bed yet, whereas you have just woken up. Anyway, we just finished up our work in Godot, so now we're gonna mess around for a little bit. Pretty fun part of the stream. So yeah, someone said Let me scroll back through chat and find what this guy said and see. Are you still here? Glorzoid. Let's see. Glorzoid said somewhere something about a movie. Sorry, let me just find this. I think it was him, right? Maybe it wasn't. Wow, I can't find it for the life of me. Who said this? Maybe we'll read some more Chad Johnson articles. Who knows? Can you search this chat? I don't know. It's so long. So much. I mean, it's not that long, but long enough that it is very hard to see what's going on, and if you can where certain messages are. Yeah, Glorzoid, were you the one who said that you had a movie or something that you wanted us to watch? I forget who said that, but yeah, if you were the one who said that, definitely send it again. I think someone also said there was an article by that same guy, Chad Johnson. Do you wanted to read? Yeah. Send it. Can you guys send links or? Chad Johnson. Yeah, sure. Articles. Let's see what his most popular article is. How do we find it? We want it to be on medium.com. Okay. What's a good one, guys? Hit me with a good one, because it won't show me as most popular. It's just showing random stuff. I think someone said something about Chad Johnson article single player games. Medium.com. Okay, there's why rest is making you fail. There's another Chad Johnson in the NFL, which is what's messing us up. Listen, we already read why rest is making you fail, so I don't think it's this one. I don't know what this is. Yeah, that's some tutorial on Nomad or something. There's no... I mean, I don't see... Yeah, no, I'm scrolling through the Google feed right now. Yeah, good point, though. We're trying to find Chad Johnson articles from medium.com that we can read and critique. So if you guys can send links, then you can send a link to a Chad Johnson article. Chad Johnson single player medium.com. There we go. We found it. Oh, here's one about ChatGPT. All right, there we go. And something about PC gaming. Oof. All right, that's a pretty good amount to cover. I don't know if we read all of these, but here we go. All right, so this is Chad Johnson's multiplayer games are superior to single player ones. Multiplayer wins, and it's not even close. All right, that's his. Whew. Okay, that's a pretty. All right. Okay. That's something. Yeah, this is. That's certainly. He's certainly making it clear what he believes here. Also, this looks like a real photo, whereas this looks AI generated. So yeah, that's something. But he did say in this article here, he's saying you should use ChatGPT for your work. So at least he's saying what he believes on that, because clearly that's some AI cooked up imagery right there. All right, so all right. I mean, he comes right out of the gate. He says, yeah, multiplayer is better. Let's see what he has to say. Why? It's like hanging out. All right, that's fair. It's a good point. You can hang out with people. Social interaction, blah, blah, blah. Nice. In single player, you're up against AI, predictable, boring. No, that's not true. I'm going to disagree with that point blank. Yes, some AI are predictable and boring. Some just aren't, all right? You can't compare a poor AI experience against a good multiplayer experience. Some multiplayer experiences are terrible. That'd be like saying, well, I only play single-player games because League of Legends is toxic. Well, there's other games than League of Legends, right? Okay, so this point, out. Sorry, it is dead. There is, in most games, playing against humans is more fun, especially if you're going to play for a long period of time. Grinding against AI isn't as fun as playing against humans, but that's not really because they're predictable and boring. It's because it's more fun to beat a human than a bot. And yes, some people are worse than bots, legitimately. I'm sorry, but it's true. Especially good bots. Like a bot in chess. Easy example. Chess. Bots better than people. So some games, bots are better. Some games, humans are better. If you've played Fortnite, you know Fortnite bots suck. They're literally terrible. Maybe there are people worse than them. I find that hard to believe. So I think it depends on the game and how the bots have been designed. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Multiplayer is where real skill progression happens. There is... I don't know. I don't think that's entirely true. One nice thing about playing against people is people are creative, and so they come up with new strategies. And so even if you get beat by someone, you can learn from their strategy. Sometimes that can be true for bots too. Like human players learn chess from bots. They just learn how to play chess from how the bots play chess sometimes. So that's, sometimes you can learn from bots, but generally learning from people is easier. Even if you're not directly like being talked to by a person, but like learning from how they play is easier than learning from how a bot plays sometimes. So this is kind of a point. This one we completely ignored. This one is obviously the main point. This one is kind of a meh. It's all right. It's there. Economic advantages. Blah blah blah. Yeah, I mean that's the other thing. Like. He's presumably going up against this, but he put the word emotional in here. Like, have you ever played a multiplayer game that made you feel something other than, yes, I won, or I just lost, I should have won? I feel like multiplayer games, most of the time, it's just you're happy when you win, you're mad when you lose, which obviously most of the time you're losing because of equipment issues and not because of skill issues. But still, it just makes you happy or angry. A different game can do a single player game typically has the chance. Obviously, not all single player games do this. A single player game has the chance, like a movie or a book or something like that. It has the chance of actually telling you a story that makes you emotional in some way. I could be wrong. I don't know. Guys, feel free to hit me with oh no, this game does that perfectly. But I think if you're playing in Apex Legends, you're not playing it for the story. I don't even know what the story is. I think there's some kind of a story there, but you're not playing it for the story. You're playing it because you want to be better than other people, and that's fine. But you're not going to get the advantages of a more emotional story. Look at the top 10 games. Almost all of them have a multiplayer mode. Okay, popularity does not equal better. So this is an interesting point for maybe developers. If multiplayer games are more popular, maybe you should make a multiplayer game. Sure. If you're a player, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what's more popular. multiplayer games have to be popular in order for you to play them, typically, because you need other players online. But if you're, it doesn't matter if a single player game isn't popular, because you can still play it. Doesn't matter. So I think that's not a very good point there. Sorry, Chad. Yeah, Chad's not really a Chad at this point, I don't think. Collaborative learning. No, I don't think so. I don't think I agree with this. It is nice to be able to squad up with someone, right, and play side by side. That's definitely something. And they can teach you a lot better there. But if you're, yeah, so in general, multiplayer games, if you're squatting up with someone, then yes, you can learn a lot more. I agree with that. Single player games, you can still talk to other people about them and enjoy them, and enjoy the fact and nerd out about them with another person. So it's not entirely devoid of social aspects or learning aspects from other people. You can also read articles or whatever if you want to discover hidden secrets. So again, the learning is better in a multiplayer game. The social aspects are better in a multiplayer game, but there's still some social aspects to a single player and some, amount of learning. And single player games still crush it with the story in general. Another big point for multiplayer games is they last a lot longer. You can play against people over and over and over, but you can't play a story over and over and over. You can play it maybe a couple times, wait a year, one or two more times. That's it. So yeah, that's why they're the most popular games in general, is because the devs can keep getting money from you over and over again for a long period of time. Yeah, that's about all he has to say. So that's not true. Multiplayer games aren't single-handedly superior to single player ones. They both have a lot of advantages and disadvantages. Multiplayer games have social aspects, they have collaborative learning aspects, but they don't. Yeah, let's watch the movie. You can't generalize like this though. You can't say single player is superior to multiplayer either. It's not. You're not going to be able to get away with something like that. Sorry, Chad. Get wrecked. Can you link the movie? I'm waiting for a link, or at least like a title I can search on YouTube, if it's on YouTube, I assume. Yeah. What do we got, guys? Dude, another. All right. Search up. Yeah, what are we searching up? Okay, just your channel. All right, cool. Dude, why when you click on someone in the chat, it says the options are pin message, report, remove, put user in timeout, hide user on this channel, and add as moderator. There's no go to channel. Like, why can't I just click on someone and go to their channel? All right, I'll search it. It's fine. I'm just concerned in case there's multiple Glorzoids out there. That's always troublesome. But it's a pretty unique name, so I hopefully... Yeah, there we go. That's you. Okay, perfect. All right, what are we looking at, guys? Which one are we looking for here, guys? I'm seeing, let's see, 3 days ago. Okay, most of them are 5 months ago, so I'm gonna assume it was the one that was 3 days ago. Is that correct? I'm assuming it was this one, right? Is that right? Let me get my earbuds in. I feel like it takes a long time for the back and forth to happen. I don't know. I think I have it on the lowest latency section setting. Yeah, ultra low. Yeah, ultra low. Even though it means I can't do 4K or 1440p. Just pretty unnecessary, I think. So... Oh, don't want to mute that. Hang on. I just need to turn off monitoring for my mic so I don't hear it in my ears because it's very annoying. Let's Let's see. All right, let me check this out. Hang on. There we go. Okay. There really needs to be a shortcut for that. That's very annoying. Okay, anyway, is this the right one? We can hear the movie from your side. Wait, is there a... Nothing's playing, is it? Yes, that's the one. You worked for months on that. Alright, so we got Mark Rober in Fortnite. Alright. Let's check it out.
One day in Team Fortress 2, there was a soldier named Soldier. The soldier decided to hop in a teleportation device
Okay.
determined to steal the enemy's briefcase. But what happens in the dark always comes to light.
You bet it does. Stop trying to sneak these things past this little soldier, man.
So the teleportation gods decided to teach him a lesson by sending him to the perilous Wild West.
That's what you get.
What the? Where am I?
Bro, imagine you just hop on the teleporter and you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna teleport and go somewhere. And then you get sent to Roblox land. That would be a rough moment. Not gonna lie. That would be a rough moment.
This doesn't look like the enemy headquarters. He's got our briefcase in his hands. We need to protect the briefcase.
Just jumps on his head like a Mario moment. Just clonks him out. You had the actual diamond.
Now, I need the money so women will pay attention to me.
Well, that's his reason for getting the money? Alright, okay. Alright, yeah, whatever. All right, carry on.
Okay. And this isn't the enemy headquarters. This must be the spies doing it.
Why does it feel like it's like stretched off screen or something?
Why, hello there. I haven't seen
This is not gonna go well.
you around Bozo City before. My name is Edmund and I'm the mayor of the city. I truly appreciate you arresting that fat bozo who keeps stealing from the bank. To show my appreciation, come to the mayor's house tonight and I'll make you a dinner.
I knew
He just backs away.
This character must be a spy. I'll go to his house for dinner and expose him.
So what brings you to Bozo City?
I don't know. My teleporter malfunctioned and teleported me here. But I have a feeling that you had something to do with that.
What are you talking about? Got a portion device?
Cut the act, spy. Your little ruse will not fool me. I will steal your briefcase in exchange for $10 million.
I think you have me confused.
It's a high ask, $10 million.
Please, tell me more about this $10 million briefcase.
Well, from where I come from, you can steal the enemy's briefcase and get $10 million from it.
$10 million.
It was zoomed in. Okay, there we go.
Well, that money could be very useful to me. I can buy 5 Spitfires with that kind of money. Take them away. Hello, crew. How's your transition coming? You know, I'm going from world's first villain to world's first agent.
Ah, I knew you were the spy.
Shamon, yeah.
Even a little picture of Rue. Excellent, excellent.
Goodbye, Gru. Enjoy prison.
Hello, Sonny Boy. First time in jail. The name's Old Man McGillicuddy.
That's a good voice right there. That's a good voice.
Who are you? Did a spy also malfunction your teleporter?
A spy also malfunctioned. Like, yeah, okay, that would be a pretty strange coincidence if both of them were in there for the same situation.
I work at a sawmill, you see. One day, I didn't cut his wood right, and he locked me up for all of eternity.
That's pretty intense, but you know, I mean, yeah, I mean, if you work at the sawmill, you gotta do it right, man. You gotta do it right. You deserve that.
What the spy's doing? Damn it! We have to stop that mare. How are we going to get out here?
Don't worry. I've been in this rotted lagoon for exactly 20 years.
Okay, that's very, very coincidental.
And exactly 20 years ago, my friends said they would bust me out of here.
Hi there. Don't worry. I'll get you out of there with my trusty crowbar. Dang
That's not a crowbar. I mean, that's a pickaxe. I'm just saying.
it. I'm losing it, but this door is too darn stiff for my crowbar.
It's a pickaxe.
It's the doorman. It's Mr. Felix.
Come on, let's get out of here before the mayor's goons find us.
Alright, once we get out of here, we need to go kill that mayor. And
Okay, whoa, that's pretty intense, guys. I mean, maybe we should just talk to him, you know?
stop his reign of corruption.
That's too dangerous. His goons will be protecting him. We need another plan.
One plan could be build a lightsaber. I'm just saying.
No, it's Apex. He'll come kill us all.
Put your hands in the air. I've come to take this force so I can start a clan.
Dude, this guy has like a big rifle on his back. Like, just whip that out. Just whip it out. Just whip it. Just whip it out. Yep, just. I feel like that'd be an easy win.
I think I was confused. We don't own this fort. Apex does. Please let us and take the fort.
I don't believe you, and women don't like lovable men.
No! It was that also!
Hey, it's me, Mark Robber, and don't worry, I've got it all under control.
What? It's the most random Mark Rober moment.
I've heard what happened to you, soldier, and I'm here to help you get back home. We need to build a new teleportation device to get you home, but we need to go somewhere safer to hide out.
I assume it's like an AI voiceover of Mark Rober's voice. It's pretty solid though. It's pretty solid. I mean, obviously, you know, some of the pronunciations, like the random AI, you know, mistakes that it makes, but it sounds pretty good all in
We can
all.
hide out at the sawmill. The mayor would never look for us there.
Alright, how are you gonna build a teleportation device?
Oh yeah, they could have also actually just hired Mark Rober, of course. Yeah, I mean that definitely seems, you know, pretty
So first we need the
plausible.
revolving barrel of a Spitfire. Next we need the claw of the Grimlock Bear, and then the teleportation device will be complete.
How are we gonna get the Spitfire?
I mean, yeah, that's impressive. That's impressive.
We can get one from the auction house, but one problem, it's a bit pricey.
Don't worry. I've got life savings of $4 million.
Why were you in jail if you have life savings of $4 million? Can you not just buy a lawyer? Like,
That won't be enough, because anytime there's a Spitfire in the auction house, the mayor will buy it, and he's surely got more than $4 million.
So we need to distract the mayor while I place a $4 million bid. But how are we gonna do that?
You remember that fat bozo who tried taking the fort? We can hire him to be AFK in the auction house. When the mayor sees he's AFK, he will push him out of the safe zone and rob him, which is where you place the $4 million bid on the Spitfire.
Alright, everything is set up. I just...
okay, guys, we do have a time crunch here, so I'm gonna skim a little bit just to squeeze out and find what the ending ends up being. So hopefully, if we hit, wait, I don't want to just be on credit. So hang on, we want to skip back maybe like 15-ish. Just because we do have a time, we have a time crunch here, so like we can't entirely watch the whole thing entirely through, unfortunately.
Alex, I got Mark's package.
He no longer has my package hostage.
Wow.
Wait a second, the bandit wasn't an outlaw, which means I got a bounty for killing him.
It's ya boy, Johnny boy.
No! Quickly, soldier, get in the teleportation device before it deactivates.
But what about...
I like how Mark Roberts is being dragged along. He's like, quickly, just get in the teleportation device before it activates.
Don't worry about me. Save yourself.
No, don't do it. No. No, you should have saved Rober.
Come on, come on. Yes, I
No.
broke out.
It's your boy, Johnny Boy.
No, you won't get me again.
Why here injustice?
Murdoch helped me. He's trying to arrest me.
Don't worry, son. I'll take care of it.
Wait, what are you doing?
Here you go. And this time he ain't gonna break free again. Safe travels.
It's my boy Murdoch. It's your boy, Johnny Boy.
That's rough,
At
man.
the end, Mark Rober's life started going down, while Johnny Boy's life started going up.
In the heart of the Wild West where legends roam, Murdoch the
Hold on. This man gave you $2,000 to put him in the credit. That's insane.
In the heart of the Wild West where legends roam,
Also nice.
Murdoch the hero with courage to call his own. The town of bronze standing proud and tall, where legends rise.
Good work.
And some heroes
Our
fall.
voice credit to AI. You know, you want to put that in just because, you know, in a couple of years, the AI overlords are going to be very angry at you if you didn't, you know, credit them appropriately. So you definitely want to make sure you do.
Hero with a heart so true, called out to Apex with a challenge to pursue. Added effects TWW. Let's ride the
Oh man, bro, imagine you work hard on this project on, you know, distracting everyone, and then at the end of the day the credits come out and you watch it and you're like, yes, I got credit for always distracting everyone. Excellent.
Wild West, see what we can do.
Nice music though. Solid credits music. Makeup and hairstylist for the Roblox people. Nice.
FX the renegade, a rebel with a grin. Declined the offer with a mischievous spin. But little did they know trouble was in the air. In the front city streets, chaos would declare. The sun
Proud Robux spender on the game he know play. High fiver. That's good. An important role, but not nearly as important as making a Redditor go to the gym. That's an impressive feat. I would like to meet this young baller man because I don't think I could achieve something like that. It's pretty incredible. Pretty incredible. That's not true. Guys, we've been through this. That wasn't Uncle Bob. It was a scam. And it wasn't Uncle Bob. To square root of 42 is not infinity. That was a scam. This is not true. This needs to be cut out. Just glow stick manufacturer. We'll take that. Angry Joe act. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Okay. Whoa. Was I actually in this? Was there a line? Okay. All right. An expert programmer, obviously. I skipped my. I didn't know I had a role. All right. Where is it? Where's Angry Joe? All right. We got to see this. I didn't want to, but we have to sign off at 10:30, so we don't have time to watch the entire thing. Oh man. All right, hang on. Yeah, I mean, I can watch it another day, but all right, I'll keep it up so I can watch through it another day and find my little cameo in there.
good firm, ready for the chase.
You lost your bees. Good
Good work though. Good film. Yep. I'll keep the tab open. I'll watch it another day after. But yeah, no, I didn't want to skip through it, but I felt like I had to because we have to sign off at 10:30. So we have a couple minutes that we can want to do something, or we can go ahead and shut it down. We have a couple more articles by Chad Johnson, so maybe we should do one more of these and then call it a night. That seems like a reasonable course of action. Good film though. Good film. I will watch it through because I want to see my cameo. You should put Chad Johnson in the next one though. All right, which one do we want to do? ChatGPT or criticizing PC gamers and saying they look like this? Which one? The fat one? All right. Let's do it. Last article of the night. 4-minute read. Just about perfect. The one with the RGB shine that could light up a small... That's not... Dang it. Dang it. Dang it. How does he know? How does he know? How does he know? How does he know? How does he know that I have that in the background? Like, this is ridiculous. And, okay, this is not... Okay, first of all, bro has 1, 2, 3... 4 mostly hidden, 5, 6, 7, 8 monitors. Like what? No one has that many monitors. No one has that many monitors. I'm just gonna straight up say that. And that's ugh. It's not real fun. Okay, he literally put the prompt here. Like he's not a pro gamer. There's no. Okay, pause that 100-hour RPG. I've never spent 100 hours in an RPG. Actually, wait, hang on. Not on one go, at least. Not like the longest I've spent on like one world is probably like I played Star Wars Jedi Survivor, and I spent 60 hours 100%ing one of my worlds, one of my yeah, whatever they're called. I spent 60 hours 100%ing it, and then I went back to do the new game plus type of stuff. But I don't think it didn't take 100 hours to get through the RPG. So I don't think he's talking about me. This is clearly not supposed to be me. Clearly, the RGB thing hit a little close to home. But since he said that it's okay. Let's scroll on. Cost of a used car for that game. Okay, I've never shelled out that much. That's insane. Wait, how much is a used car? Hang on. I hope. Okay, used car cheap. Shopping. Okay, if you're could say that's the price of a used car or that, then you're there with an Xbox too. So like it's not that bad. I don't think I have. Yeah, no. So that's he's clearly not talking about me. Okay, so yeah, we're fine. Also need the gaming chair. Dang it. All right, so I'm okay. All right, so yeah, I'm sitting in a gaming chair technically, but it's it's not that gaming chair. All right, let me hold like it's like a cross between a gaming chair and an office chair. So it's not that bad. All right, let me just prove my case. Like that's not that bad, right? It's basically an office chair, honestly. Like it's basically an office chair. Expensive. The lights. Okay, guys, he's not talking about the lightsaber. He's talking about the PC. So like it's the lightsaber's fine. No. You have the game chair, but orange. Oh, that's actually kind of nice. That's kind of nice. I think orange is better than yellow. So. Good work. Actually, this is kind of green too. Yeah, definitely. I definitely take orange. Good work. Okay, the gaming chair, the mechanical keyboard with the keys you never knew existed. Okay, no, that's not true. That's not true. My mechanical keyboard is the smallest. I don't want to say the smallest ever because you guys are gonna just send me a bunch of pictures of tiny little things. But this is my mechanical keyboard. It's 60%. It has less keys than you could possibly imagine. This guy's never seen a keyboard this small and this beautiful. but it does have RGB, so that is a little rough. Kind of got me with that one. Okay, a mouse that looks like a transformer, also no. Guys, he's clearly not talking about me. My mouse is like as sleek and clean and beautiful. See? No transformer. Nope. Nice and chill, nice and relaxed. Okay. So clearly we're having a jam up back here. Okay, there we go. Okay, energy consuming. No, it's sleeping most of the time. No. Okay, yeah. You say you don't have time to hit the gym or learn to you go. Okay. blah 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 blah. Dang it. But I mean, realistically, like, we just don't have time. You know, we just don't have time. Like, it's different. You know, it's different. It's different. You know, you gotta. Anyway, okay, let's skip that one. Just 1 more minute's update. Okay, that's not really true that much anymore. With auto update, you can usually just have it downloaded, like, you know, before you play, and it's chill. So, yeah. Do. Guys, we've already talked about the hardware would have to be so much better to run Godot than it is right now. So, yeah, it would consume way more energy. It's not valid. Also, it's 10:30, so we need to crunch the rest of this article. I gotta hit my bedtime, you know. You got 300 friends online. How many of those have you actually met? Yeah, that's fair. But I think you can just play with people you've already met in real life, and then it's much better anyway. So that's what I tried to do. Just hop on a VC with someone I already know, you know, brother, friend, whatever. That's the way to do it. Okay, so it's a niche community. Like, I don't think that's a problem. It's, you know, the niche the better, honestly. You know, it helps you be a little closer to the other people. Am I right? Escapism at its worst. I mean, fair. Yeah, you shouldn't use games to escape from, you know, whatever problems you have in real life. But resting is good. You know. Yeah, playing a game so you can rest and then you'll get back into it. For a second, I thought he had just put my name in here. That was a scary moment there. But thankfully, he also misspelled it, so we're fine. Denial, blah 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 blah. Addiction. No, I don't know. I don't know if I've met someone who like is actually like addicted to like PC games. I feel like that happens more with like people with mobile games. I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of a surprise. He's like ripping into it, like based on this guy. I mean, because he's been, you know, he's like was talking about single player versus multiplayer. Now he's just like, all games are evil, burn them. Yeah, I mean, he has a point here. You're not going to make money off of esports. There's just so few people that do it. It's not really going to happen, most likely. I mean, I say that, and then here I am making YouTube videos. But yeah, unless you're, you know, really serious about it and you look into whatever the business side of it is, yeah, you would have to be serious about it and get good, just like a real athlete. You would have to not just be good, but you'd also have to be in the right place at the right time, and you'd have to do work to make sure that you were in the right place in the right time. So yeah. Only thing you're sprinting towards is carpal tunnel syndrome. I disagree. If you just take proper care of your hands and do the proper things with them, then you won't get carpal tunnel. A lot of people think they're getting carpal tunnel that aren't, and yeah, and those that are, they're not using their hands correctly, and so yeah, you're fine if you do it correctly. It's a skill issue, honestly. Yeah. So the next time you see someone and they say, "Oh, I have carpal tunnel," be like, skill issue. Don't do that. Only if they got it via gaming. 12 button combo with your eyes closed. Yeah. Okay, that's just hitting 12 buttons in a row. I feel like this guy's having trouble with that. Also, I think there have been studies that doing, like, seeing stuff on a screen and being able to react to that helps improve your seeing something and being able to react to it in real life. Like, not your depth perception or whatever, like, you still need to be able to see in the real world, but like practicing reacting to stuff quickly and making decisions on the fly I think there have been studies that show that doing that in video games helps you do that in real life. Okay. Dude, you're not getting followed for this crap. I'm sorry, but you can't, like, this is exactly the thing. Like, people just, like, I feel like he just, like, knew he was going to get more views if he absolutely ripped into it than if he said, okay, it's good in these ways and bad in those ways. It's not just facts. There's not a lot of fluff. I'll give him that. His articles are very tight. 2-minute read, 4-minute read, that kind of stuff. But yeah, he just went extreme here. Just presumably just so he could get more views, because there's a lot of people that agree with this, and there's not as many people. Like, if people read this, they're going to get emotional because they agree or emotional because they disagree. If people read an article that was balanced about, oh, there's good stuff here and bad stuff here, then they might not get as emotional. And so I feel like he's just trying to feed off that rage, which is kind of annoying. But he's open with his mind, a true hero. No, I don't think that's true. He made an article about single player versus multiplayer games. So either he was making that article based off of research and not actually off of his own experience, in which case it's a scam, or he plays video games and he just wrote all of this hatred about video games, in which case it's also a scam. So I think we can definitively prove by deduction that Chad Johnson is a scam. Yeah, and that's a good note. That's a good note to end on. Hopefully Chad Johnson doesn't get mad at me for that, but it's okay. He won't find out about this. We'll just keep it quiet. Okay, we're good. Okay. Yeah, definitely not. Yeah, I disagree. I disagree with everything we read from him tonight. Unfortunately, I didn't see his profile pic. Maybe we'll read another article another time. Anyway, 7:30, I think we're locked in. Well, whatever time this stream started for you guys, I think we're locked in on that time. So I've been cranking it earlier. I think we're done cranking it earlier. I think we're locked in on that time. So just, check what time that is. Be here at same time next week. We should be chilling. That's all. Shiny lightsaber. One last look at that before we sign off. Let me remove this so you guys can see it real good. Okay, that's kind of boring. I'll wait till it changes color. And then I'll end so you guys can end on a good note. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Activate. And on red. That's perfect. I knew it was going to be red because it's white then, right?